Okay, I've been talking this whole time while I've been muted. What an asshole. Well, let me start all over again. It's probably better that way, other than just embarrassing myself with these shows. So the first thing is there was a delay because I went ahead and I hit go live over here and it said I was live, and I'm looking over here at the YouTube side and nothing's happening. If there's a default delay in it, I don't know how to take that out of there. So it was just doing its thing. And then the other thing is that I really didn't give any notice on this show. I just put out a community post this morning or whatnot, and said I was going to do a show. Yesterday I was on Gizzard Gary's show, and he said, "When are you going to do a live show again?" Well, I'll just do one tonight. So I don't want it to run all night. You guys know what'll happen. I'll just go to sleep and leave the show going. I did make sure that I've got some caffeine. So tonight's brought to you by Pepsi. Taste the pride of the Carolinas. So I had a couple topics I wanted to talk about, and if they kind of run out or just somebody wants to hear something else, just type something over there in the live chat and I'll answer questions. If you want to join the panel, just go ahead and ask me over there in the live chat or send me an email. I'll send you a link. I've got the link. I remembered how to do that. It's been a while since I've done this. And here, let me close this out. Computer's doing another thing, so there. So let me go ahead and read who's out there in the audience. I can't believe people are actually tuning in for this, but I suppose the fact that I was muted and all the other stuff gave a little bit of time because, there's always some sort of, it seems like there's always some sort of delay with YouTube. So first in the room was DM Foss, and then Kingpin, and let me scroll down here. Two Live Moo, who's telling me that I've got no sound. I should have read that first. And then after that, we've got Defense Dad also telling me to unmute. And we've got Raphael. Hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Hi, all from Tampa. And Gizzard Gary. And all right, that's it. So let's see. I'm waiting for dinner to fish cooking. Meatloaf. Oh, yeah, that would be good dinner to have tonight. We've got leftover Christmas dinner, so ham and whatnot. Just been having ham sandwiches. It's easy, and I mean, who doesn't like a ham sandwich? But meatloaf sounds good. Now, my question, Defense Dad, is do you put ketchup on top of your meatloaf? Do you bake the ketchup on top of your meatloaf? Paradise by the dashboard, light at Defense Dad. Okay. I don't know what that means, but yeah, Raphael needs a Pepsi as well. Be right back. Yeah, it'd be nice if Pepsi sponsored me. Everybody would be getting free swag, that's for sure. But it's a product I endorse because Pepsi comes from a place I used to live, a place I used to call home. So, matter of fact, got this cup at the little, I guess it'd be like a drugstore or whatnot, where Pepsi was originally sold in New Bern, North Carolina this summer. I took my family on a vacation. We went to Virginia and North Carolina, and I showed them where I grew up as a kid. And one of the places I wanted to take them was New Bern. And that's part of one of the two topics I had for the show is vacations. So vacations and taking time off. What do you consider a vacation? What constitutes a vacation? And do you have paid time off at work, or is that important to you when you're looking for a job? And if it isn't, then why not? That sort of thing. So I'm kind of hoping somebody maybe just ask some questions or put some comments out there or something to kind of chime in on where they stand on that. Gizzard Gary says retired people don't get vacations. Yeah, because every day is a vacation. So for those that aren't retired and those who didn't win the lottery and just doing what they want to do, or mooching off the government, or what have you, vacation time is kind of, I think it's different for different people. For some people, they do those staycations where they don't go anywhere. They do things around the house. They use their vacation time to get caught up on errands. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you got to put your car in the shop. You got a bunch of doctor's appointments, whatever it is. You take a half day here. You do this, you do that. You use some of your paid time off so you don't miss any money on your paycheck. And it doesn't count as an absence at work or something like that. And you can do the things you've got to do. And sometimes I will use my paid time off for that, but I do that on a rare occasion. I like to use my paid time off to get out of here and go somewhere else. And for me, that's a vacation. I want to go somewhere where we don't have what I have here. Like, for example, there are people that tell me that when they go on vacation, all they want to do is go sit by the pool with a drink for a week and then fly home. Why the fuck would you do that? I mean, you could buy a pool and put it in your backyard, and you might be, living up north, so you can't sit in the pool in the winter. Okay, great. The Holiday Inn Express down the street's got an indoor heated pool. So, and you can bring, cans of beer out there. You can't bring glass, but you can bring plastic and metal containers of alcohol out there. So, and you don't have to drive anywhere. You get a room and you just walk from the pool, stumble from the pool drunk, and go pass out in your room and get the next day and go do the same thing. Free breakfast. So why would you jump in an airplane and fly somewhere for it? And I don't get that. So I don't understand the people that vacation for them is driving 10 minutes down the road to the state park and putting up a tent, sleeping in a sleeping bag, and getting drunk by the fire when you could, have a fire in your fire pit in your backyard and sleep in your own bed that night. So I guess vacation is something different for different people. Whether or not you want to negotiate for that time, or whether or not you've chosen a job, a career, something like that that's never going to have that. That's on you. Like, for example, some of our union contractors at work, these guys are well paid. I mean, they make some serious money. They've got a pension coming to them one day. They've got great medical, and the union makes sure that all of their training and certification stuff gets paid for and up to date and all that other stuff. But they don't get paid days off. They make so much money that they tell them you're on your own. So if you want to take a day off, take a day off. You want to take 2 weeks off and fly somewhere, that's all on you. We're not paying you for those days off. And somebody might say, well, that ain't fair. Well, if you knew what these guys got paid, you'd be like, yeah, I think they can afford it. And that's on them. That's something that they can negotiate with their union, because I know some union guys pay into a fund, and then they either get a check at the end of the year, or they pull out of that fund to make up for the 8-hour days that they aren't working or something like that. Just other people decide to get a part-time job or something else like that. They don't have paid days off. They don't qualify for holiday pay. Like they didn't get paid for Christmas. I didn't go to work today, guys. I got paid for it. That's something I negotiated for, and I'm not bragging or anything. Everybody's got to do what works for them. But for me, that time off is important. So let me go ahead and scroll through the comments now that I've ran my mouth here. Let's see. Let's go back to Defense Dad. Evening, some bitches. 2 Live Move sounds good now. Everybody's saying hi. All right. So, no, I make a nice crust with Worcestershire sauce. Okay, good. Because putting ketchup on meatloaf is like heresy. It really is. I know people do it, but I'll chisel that shit right off and throw it on the floor for the dog to eat. First off, it's ketchup. I mean, some of the spicy ketchup is good, but and secondly, you're just ruining it, So Worcestershire sauce, huh? All right. Vacation is going somewhere that has less people than I'm trying to get away from. Cabin in the mountains. Okay. Now that I'll buy. Defense Dad, that I'll go with. You're going somewhere to get away from people. So you're fine with the cabin in the mountains where maybe you've got a wood burning stove, or maybe it's got electricity or something, but you don't have all the conveniences of home or whatnot, but you're going for the peace and the quiet. That I could get, because you're not going to get that barricading yourself in your house. So Okay, yeah, or maybe like where your cell phone won't work, right? So you can tell your boss, "Hey, sorry, there's no signal out there," then you're good with that. I mean, I'd be kind of bummed because then I couldn't watch YouTube videos, but I did that for a week and a half here earlier this month, where it was go, 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 and I really didn't have time to watch people's videos. I thought I'd have downtime, and then when I did, I was in places where there was no signal. So let's see, Gizzard Gary. I already live in the middle of bumfucked Egypt, and I only have to deal with people when I leave. I already have it made. Okay, so see, you're the exact opposite of that. You don't have to. You could do a staycation and barricade yourself in your house, and you wouldn't have to deal with that crap. So, and that's another thing too. So I knew a guy who lived out in the country. He had a farm, and he lived maybe, I don't know, 35, 45 minutes away from a city. So he could, Walmart and Myers and the hospital and everything wasn't that far away, but he was far enough away that like they're never going to build subdivisions around his farm, right? And he would take his camper and drive 2 hours to go put it in a state park so they could camp out at a state park for the weekend or for a week and then bring it back to the farm. The guy's got like 100 acres in his backyard. Why wouldn't you just camp out in the back? Why would you drive to the state park unless it's to meet up with other people, I guess. But I don't understand why some people, one, don't make sure that they're working somewhere where they get paid days off, so they don't miss a paycheck. You don't hear them whining and complaining about they can't afford this and that, and then why some people go somewhere where they have exactly what they have at home. I don't get that. And I mean, like, I was on the beach a couple weeks ago, right? And you might go, well, Michigan has beaches. Yeah, you're right. But right now they're freezing cold. So it's different. But then again, some things were kind of like, okay, this is not any different than other places I've gone to. And I guess it just depends on how you look at it. So let's see here. What else we got here? My dad's rule on Two Live Move. My dad's rule on vacation was to go at least 3 hours away from home, so you can't just run home and get something. Yeah, that. But I have gone 3 hours away and turned around and came back because of something. It's not good. It's not good. It's actually my wife writes a list, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't need no damn list. Write a list and go check off everything on the list to make sure you bring with. At my age, I've gone on enough trips that I know to bring an extra this, a spare that, and there's always money. We always have cash and credit cards, more than enough to cover everything that's planned. We try to prepay for as many things as possible. But like we get there and, oh crap, I forgot my toothbrush. Well, there's CVS, right? I mean, it's no big deal. So, but 3 hours away, yeah, that's enough where if somebody calls you for something ridiculous, you can go, look, dude, I'm 3 hours away. No, I'm not. But if you're 30 or 45 minutes away, they'll guilt you into it. And that's just it too, is, you can tell some people your plans and they don't want to give you any peace. Another thing is telling people that you're going somewhere nowadays. I don't recommend telling people that you're leaving for vacation on social media unless you got somebody to watch your house. Like we've got a house sitter, but I still don't like telling people that sort of thing. But if you don't tell some people, they will try to call you or whatever and be like, dude, I'm, 6 states away. Oh, I had no idea. Well, I didn't tell you because you'll tell everybody. You'll go on, Facebook and say, so-and-so's on vacation. Like, that's not what I want people to know. So it kind of sucks. You're probably just better off putting your phone on do not disturb and screening calls. Let's see, Defense Dad. My vacation the past few years has been running Thunder on the Prairie. This year I'm going to actually go somewhere too. And Tactical Fud's in the house. Hey, everybody. Defense Dad. Okay, Thunder on the Prairie. That's sort of a vacation for me. So working it wouldn't be a vacation. And, I do a couple things there to help you guys out. But, I mean, you and Travis pretty much do everything. If you guys wanted me to do some more stuff, I wouldn't mind helping out. But that's really not a vacation. I am getting to meet up with friends. And, we have a good time. And I'm making videos, but it's for me, it's more like a working trip. Now, if I go somewhere on the way to Thunder on the Prairie, or I go to something after Thunder on the Prairie, or on the way home, then that kind of turns it into a vacation for me. And I'm not saying that I don't have a good time. I mean, this year, any bad time that I had this year at Thunder on the Prairie was on me. That was me just stressed out. And this sort of thing happens to me when I want to go to an event or take a vacation. Right before I go, the car breaks, the water heater goes out, somebody gets hurt, the dog gets sick, you name it. And this year, I actually took time off before and after Thunder on the Prairie, and I had to cancel it because we had a plumbing issue here at home, and I took care of it. And that kind of sucked because I didn't do as many things on the way there and on the way back as I had originally planned. But I was trying to turn it more into a vacation. But I don't look at that as a vacation. NRAM was not a vacation. What else did I go to? When I went to, well, okay, so when I went to Antique Arms in Las Vegas in January, that was sort of more of a vacation, but it was a longer road trip. So it was still a working trip. I shot videos all the way there and all the way back, and did a lot of stuff. But that, I guess maybe it's the duration. So maybe if I took a week off for Thunder on the Prairie, even if I wasn't in Lincoln for a week, then it would be more like a vacation to me. Let's see here. I wasn't complaining. Oh, I didn't think you were. Thunder on the Prairie is fun. I'm just going to make it a point to do something else in addition to, that's all. Well, see, for me, okay, fun, hanging out with my friends, or getting to meet somebody for the first time that I've known online for a while. That's kind of fun. Getting to handle a firearm or something like that I've never handled before. Somebody going, here, you want to shoot this, or that's kind of fun. Of course, we get to eat. Who doesn't like to eat? And just joke around. And then when you come back, the next time you reconnect with people. That is fun, but it's not really a vacation. Like if all of us went, I don't know, to Disney, right? That would be a vacation. I know you can't bring your guns in Disney. It'll be fine. Really, it's the guy in the mouse costume won't hurt you. But that would be a vacation. So I guess just because there's so much work involved for Thunder on the Prairie, even though, like I said, you and Travis do most of the work, it's just not quite a vacation for me just yet. All right, let me see. Checking my email. Nobody sent me an email, and nobody's asking for a link out there, so which is fine. Yeah, okay. Let me see if something's showing up over here on the StreamYard side that is not showing up on the YouTube side. No, it's all showing up, so that's pretty good. Yeah. Now, here's another thing about vacation, and this kind of goes back to Gary's point. And this isn't about Gary or anybody else who's retired. This is about me. So, getting older, I've realized things aren't working so well. I mean, for example, I've got my reading glasses off to the side here just in case, because otherwise you guys see me doing this, my eyesight's getting worse, and I've got the aches and pains, and went back to the gym this year. That was that was a lot of work, and that's something that the results come back real slow. Like this is the first year in my life where I haven't been able to just burn off everything I ate, and it's weird. It's a lot more effort to run. I can still run, right? But it's a lot more effort. There are times where my knees are throbbing. I'll be climbing stairs or doing moving furniture or other things like that at work, and then when I go sit down in my office, everything just starts hurting or whatnot, or just all kinds of other issues, right? Old people issues, because I'm old. I don't want to retire at 62 or 65 or 67 or 70. That's really my goal is to retire at 70, if I actually retire at all, because I have a feeling I'll retire when they force me to, and then as soon as I can, I'll either take a job or I'll do some volunteer work because I can't sit still. I just not me. But when I'm older, it's going to hurt more. It's going to take more time to recover. I can tell you that we got back from our last trip, 2 weeks ago. I'm still having jet lag. All right. When I was younger, I could do the long drives and just go back to work the next day. Now I actually give myself an extra day after a trip, whether we fly or we drive, just to give me something. And I'm still dragging ass for weeks. It's kind of like getting back into working out. I'm dragging ass for weeks. That's because I'm older. So I know that when I'm in my 60s and 70s, and if I survive till my 80s, I'm not going to have the constitution to do the things that I like to do. I want to do them now. I want to build the memories now. I want to take the pictures and the videos, and I got lots of them, and some of them are on YouTube. So it's as easy as me just pulling it up on my phone and watching my own video. But I want to make the memories and record it so that when I'm older and I'm maybe only able to take a few trips or I'm not able to travel at all, I've got terabyte after terabyte of videos and pictures. And that's important to me. For somebody else, they may not see that. They might be younger. They don't have those aches and pains yet, or they think they're going to be invincible forever, or they just don't see any value in that. They would rather work their ass off, retire at 60 something, and then go see the world. Okay. I'm not saying that the older people can't do these things. We walked 3 miles up to the Delicate Arch at Arches National Park in Utah. All right. It's not a paved trail. There aren't rails or anything else like that. It's a lot of uphill. It's a lot of smooth rock. And if you don't have good shoes and you're not nimble enough, you're not going to make it up there. And there's not like stations on the way for you to rest and cool off and get water. And there are park rangers there, but they're not up and down the trail, there to pick you up if your fat ass falls and rolls down the mountain. Okay. We saw older people with walking sticks doing that. And like, that could be us one day. But right now, or when we did that trail, we had the health that we could just zip right up there. And, maybe we'll go back one day, maybe we won't. But for me, that's more important. So if I don't have a big fat retirement fund waiting for me when I get older, I don't care, because I'm going to do what I can do now. And I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I know people that have worked their ass off and died before they retired and missed out on all kinds of things because they're like, nope, got to build the business. Nope, got to work. Nope. And don't get me wrong, when you have responsibilities, those come first. And I always make sure my responsibilities are taken care of first. My kids are older. I've got one out of the house, and in a couple more years, I'm going to have another one out of the house. I'm done. For somebody who's younger, once again, who doesn't have that perspective, they still got kids, so it just doesn't mean the same thing to them. They're thinking, I got to build my retirement. I got to set up my kids' college fund. I got to do this and do that. And they don't want to take time off, and that's fine. But for me, I've decided to take my life in a different path. So let's see, what do we got here? Guns and barbecue. What is this bullshit? It's me running my mouth. Just explain to me. This isn't me trying to say you've got to take vacation the way I do, or you've got to get a job with paid time off, or you've got to do everything before you're too old and fall apart. No, this is why I do it. I really don't give a fuck what you do. I don't understand why some people do the things they do, but they could do their own live show and explain themselves. So, is Squibby wearing a Hawaiian shirt? Yes, this is a real Hawaiian shirt, really made in real Hawaii. My dad told me, because he's been to Hawaii a few times, he said, don't buy those fakes at the store. A real Hawaiian shirt says made in Hawaii, and you buy it in Hawaii. So actually, I didn't buy them. Don't call me Mrs. Squibload. She's got a bigger credit card than me. She bought me a whole bunch of these shirts. So this is not me. Okay, my friends wear this shit, right? And they're the parrot heads and all the Jimmy Buffett horse shit. And they all were. I don't know, when he died, it was like the end of the world. And I'm like, really? I mean, nobody lives forever. That guy lived his life to the fullest. But now when I go to some of my friends' parties, I actually will have a nicer shirt than them. But that's not why I did it. It's just I was literally there, and I said I'm going to take my dad's advice, and it's different, but every now and then mixing things up and doing something different is kind of nice. So for me, it's just about it's going somewhere where they don't have what I have here. It's going somewhere where I can learn something. I like seeing history when I'm there. Sure, I want to go to the bar and have some drinks, or go to a nice restaurant where their locals go and enjoy some of the local cuisine. I want to build memories and take pictures and buy souvenirs and shit like that too. But it's also about maybe even doing some reconnaissance. Like when we went to Deadwood last summer, we had 2 days in Deadwood, I think. And if we could go back in time and do it again, we would have stayed a third day. Now we're going to have to do another trip out there to go do all the things that we just didn't make the time for. That we didn't know until we got there. Some of these things you can read it on the internet and whatnot. Then when you get there, you find out it's really like this. And that's why I do some of the videos I do, or I've got some that I still haven't edited and published. I mean, you might see a video of me on vacation 3 years ago. Um, but the videos are there to show people this is what it looks like. This is how long of a line you got to wait in. This is how much money it costs. This is the bullshit rules they have to get in. Was it worth it? This is what it looks like. Or let's say you're not in a position to travel because you have young ones, or because you're disabled, or something else like that. Some of the videos that I've planned on making, or that I have published, are videos to show you what does it look like. Like, you couldn't make it past this in a wheelchair. Okay, well, I can make it all the way to the end. Let me show you what the whole thing looks like. And it's not to rub it in somebody's faces going, I can get there and you can't. There are YouTubers that do that crap. I'm not about that. This is about me sharing. If you're like, great, I always wondered what it looked like, or thanks for panning the camera around or something like that would be great. But if I don't even hear that, I don't care. But that's why, in addition to preserving these memories for me, it's something where I can share with somebody else, and then they can make an informed decision. Is this really worth it to them? I have people ask me about going to Las Vegas all the time, because we go like once or twice a year. We have friends out there, and we go where the locals go, and we know our way around, and just it's trip after trip after trip, and we're always learning something new about being out there. And I have people ask me all the time, and I give them little pointers about some of the tourist traps and try to explain some of the stuff to them. It doesn't mean that I know everything about Las Vegas or whatnot. But every time you go out somewhere, it gives you an opportunity to go, if I come back, I'm going to do this next time or something. Or like in the case of the trip that I took my family on this summer, I took them back to where I grew up. They've never been there. I hadn't been there in almost 30 years. And things had changed, but I knew my way around without Google Maps. I turned that off, and I just drove all over, and everything, was still where it was. But they got to actually see, this is like, I took my son to the spot where I almost drowned. Okay, that's kind of weird, but here's where we would go for fun, and I'd take them, this place or that place. We were on the beach, and it started raining, and she goes, now what are we going to do? I said, I know a place. Took them down the street to a place where we could do something indoors, and they loved it. So sometimes if you know a place real well, you grew up there, you used to live there, something like that, you can share that with somebody else, whether it be, your wife, your kids, your friends, coworkers, or whatever. The first time I took my wife out to California, I used to live there, right? She had never been to California before, and we were getting off one expressway onto the Pacific Coast Highway, and suddenly I'm looking around and I'm going, I know where I'm at. And I said, when we get to the top of we're going up the ramp. When we get to the top of the ramp, just look to the right. She says, why? I said, trust me, just look to the right. We go up the ramp and we get to the top, and she looks to the right, and there's the ocean. She'd never seen the Pacific Ocean with her own eyes before. She goes, how did you know? And I'm like, I used to live here. All right. That sort of thing, as well as like where we stayed was someplace that was totally safe. We were surrounded by Marines the entire time. And it's where I used to go on the weekends with my friends. So I took my family there. So sometimes knowing a place gives you an opportunity to maybe not just revisit it, although sometimes a place can have bad memories. I'm not talking about that, but to relive the good memories, or just to share with other people. It's kind of like when I come out to Nebraska, you guys are always showing me the local places, and you're explaining why things are this way and that sort of, and it really just has dispelled a lot of the impressions that I had of Nebraska prior to knowing people from there. So let's see here. Raphael, tomorrow is not guaranteed. That's right, Raphael, and that's part of the reason why I do what I do on my time off. I mean, I could be using my time off to do stuff around the house. Today I did. Today I didn't go anywhere. I was working on stuff around the house. Needed to get caught up on. I need to do more of that. I need to spend more weekends here doing things. But in addition to that, I want to go. I mean, I've seen the world. I've traveled around the world on the taxpayer's dime. Thank you very much. But it doesn't mean that I'm current on things or I've been to every country. And I don't know if I'm going to travel overseas again or not. We were talking about it, but and for some people, that's just not in the cards. They just want to stay in America. There's so much to see here in this country. Hell, there's so much in this state. I have not seen everything in Michigan, and I've lived here more than 20 years. So tomorrow is not guaranteed. And I would rather die with the least amount of regrets, not the most amount of money. But for somebody else, that's just stupid. So let's see here. If money wasn't an issue, would you vacation in space, either in a ship or on the moon? Okay, if money wasn't an issue. That's a good question, Kingpin, because when I was younger, I was really big into space. Not the space shuttle, even though that was the thing. The Apollo missions were actually more fascinating to me. Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Skylab, and the probes. Probably the thing that I like the most about NASA are all the space probes. And like in third grade, I used to write for the school newspaper, and I was writing about all the shuttle missions because it was the new thing, right? And I was like the science guy for the school newspaper. But I've always been fascinated with space travel, and of course, I'm a nerd. I like Star Trek, Star Wars, and all that other garbage. But would I vacation in space? Probably not. Even if money wasn't an issue, I just like you're going to go up and do a suborbital flight. Whoopee, go on the moon. Can I bring back a moon rock? If they tell me you can't bring back a moon rock, then no, I wouldn't go to the moon. When we were in Hawaii, they told us you can't bring back shells, you can't bring back coral, you can't bring back rocks, you can't bring back dirt, you can't bring back any fruits or vegetables from the island. They were literally searching people getting onto the plane, and some lady's like throwing her oranges out, and they found something in somebody's bag and ripped it out and tossed it. And I still don't know why you can't bring a fucking mango back from Hawaii, but I mean, it's all part of the United States, but you can't bring back anything from the island. And of course, they tell people that there's a curse. Pele is going to put bad fortune on you, dude. I've had so many bad things happen in my life. Bring it, okay? I I don't worship Pele, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, if they told me that I could go to the moon, but I couldn't bring back moon dust or moon rocks, then I wouldn't do it. But if money was no object, I might go to the moon. It depends, like if they wanted me to do a bunch of douchebaggy training and all this other stuff, maybe not, would it be worth it to me? It's kind of like taking a long flight. Some people are good on an airplane for a short amount of time, but you put them in that tin can for 8 hours, they're going to flip out. All right. It's like a 3-day ride to the moon. So, I mean, I'd be fine, but other people might not be. So, or all right, I can go to the moon, but what if they say, well, you can't take pictures, you can't take videos, you can't. It's just, I mean, I'm not expecting there to be a gift shop, but a suborbital, orbital, or orbit, or going up to the International Space Station, no. Going to the moon, sure. Anything beyond that, not really, because you're talking about months or years in space, and even if they had everything on the ship, months or years in space and then coming back and having to deal with all the physical issues, no. But the moon, yeah, as long as I can take pictures, take video, and bring back as many rocks and dirt as I want, or they give me a certain amount. You can only bring back so many pounds because of how much weight you can carry on the ship. But I don't want to bring back a moon rock this size and go, yeah, I was on the moon. I mean, I want to bring back something the size of a football, so I would do that then. But that's never going to happen in my lifetime. Interesting question though, Kingpin. Defense Dad. Look, it's Squignum. Okay, do I have the red shirt? Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. Let me mute here. Okay, I was looking for a shirt like this, but in red. I wanted the Magnum PI shirt. Most of, I mean, I'm not saying he always wore the red shirt, but I remember red shirt the most. This is the closest I got to red that I liked that they had for sale. I think we bought the shirts at 2 different places. We went to multiple places. Interesting thing. So made in Hawaii, some of them made in Hawaii of domestic material, some made in Hawaii of foreign material, but made in Hawaii, right? So these shirts were all $45. I think they knocked them down to 40 because I think we bought 4 at one place and 1 at another or something. So because we bought in bulk, they knocked the price down. And they were 45 at some of the gift shops. Some of the other gift shops wanted well over $100, like $150, $110 for the same exact fucking shirt. And that's just it. Some of these shops will rip you off. The coffee that I bought, it was like $8 or $10 at the grocery store, and I was seeing it for $43 at the gift shop. Same exact fucking coffee. So you want to be careful about getting ripped off. But on the tag, it does say that it's made in Hawaii. So yeah, I got a few, but yeah, I was kind of going for the Magnum thing. The problem with that is the stash. I don't have the cop stash, the porn stash. I've tried, and I'll grow out the beard for hunting season. Of course, I shaved it this year, but I'll leave the mustache for a day or two, and everybody who knows me says you look awful with that mustache. It's just terrible. Somebody said you look like an axe murderer. So it'd be nice if I had the Magnum stash, but the shirt, that's about as good as it gets. But I like that Squignum PI. So let's see. Squibby took his family back to the hood. Yeah, no, okay. So that was on a previous trip, barbecue. So I did take them to North Carolina. And what's interesting is like the one city that was just run down, they had revitalized it, and it was great. I mean, there was plenty of parking. There were things to go to. The streets were clean. It was just different, right? But then I went to another place that used to be kind of cleaned up, and it looked like a bomb hit it. And it was night and day, some of those places. But on one of our trips to Florida, on the way back, I pulled 3 hours off the interstate and took them to Albany, Georgia. That's in Southwest Georgia. And I took them right downtown, right to the spot where I learned how to fist fight. Nobody taught me how to do that. I had to do it on my own, because every day waiting for the bus, somebody would want to fight me. I was the new kid, and everybody wanted their turn with me. Now, back in those days, you didn't have 5 guys gang up on you and beat the crap out of you. Nobody brought a knife or a gun to school or whatever. It was 2 guys fist fighting, and whoever fell down first and didn't get back up, or just curled up in a ball and acted like a little bitch, that it was over. You didn't kick them in the ribs. It was over. And you could laugh and gloat, and everybody would tease this person. So you damn well didn't want to lose. I never started a single fight, but I ended all but one. There was the one kid that was held back a year, so he was bigger and older than everybody else, and he was the only one I didn't win against. And I'm not bragging. I'm not. I was not this physical kid. I wasn't athletic. I wasn't. But it was that, or if you don't fight back, you're going to go home with a busted lip and black eyes every day. And I wasn't doing that. I wasn't. I was scared out of my mind the first couple times I fought. And then after that, it's like I just let all my anger out, and it felt good. So I took them downtown, and, past the houses that don't have windows or doors, but people live in there. And it looks terrible down there. It really did. I mean, back in the day, I'm sure Albany was a metropolitan kind of thing, because there weren't a lot of cities in Georgia back then. And this is a small city in the middle of nothing. And I took them downtown, and I said, this right here. I got out of the car, and my wife said, what the hell are you doing? Get back in the car. And I said, I'm not afraid of these people. And I'm not. I wasn't going to go down there and start trouble, but I walked all around, and I got back in the car. My kids are huddling in the back, scared. And I go, now, the two of you, if you ever think you ever had it hard, look around. You could have it a lot worse. Be glad for what you have. And that was a life lesson for them. But I also wanted them to see why I act the way I act. It's kind of like my speaking squibbish, where I try to explain how I am. It was an opportunity for them to see, oh, when he says he learned how to fight in the hood, he wasn't kidding. That's not me, fluffing up going, I'm a badass or whatever else like that. But there are people who say that. All right, take me to where you fought. Take me. they're not going to, no, because it didn't happen. So, and I'm not saying I'm looking for trouble. There are some guys that I see on YouTube that, talk about carry the gun everywhere they go and all that. And if you listen to them long enough, they sound like they're looking for trouble. And that's the first rule of a fight is don't be there. But I had to stand and wait for that bus to bus me to the other side of town. They bus me to the inner city from the outskirts of town. And there was nobody there to pick me up. My mom was at work. My dad was at work. And it was, you're riding the bus. There's nothing. They talked to the principal. The principal said, I'm not doing anything about it. And what am I supposed to do? Right. Somebody be like, you can get homeschooled. That wasn't even a thing back then, but whatever. No, that's not. I learned how to deal with it. And it wasn't until much later that I told my mom about all the fights, because she only knew about a couple where I came home with marks on my face. And when I stopped coming home with marks on my face, she figured everything was fine. It's like, you didn't look at my fist, Mom, but that wasn't the point of the vacation. We went down to Florida and we had a great time down in Florida. This just happened to be on the way home. So yeah, I did take my family to the hood one time just to show them. So let's see here. Let me roll back here. Squibby wearing a Hawaiian shirt, on the moon. Yeah, took family back to the hood. So yeah, I did that on a previous trip a few years ago. Guns and Barbecue, Squib Eye the Science Guy. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I used to be one of them smart kids and stuff, but I really didn't like doing homework. So in high school, I got E's and F's on all the assignments for the most part. And then I'd get A's and B's on the test. So it would balance out. I'd pass the class just because I'd ace a test. If they seriously on the first day of the class said, we're going to give you the final exam, and if you can pass it, you don't have to come back for the rest of the semester, I would have passed every final exam because I couldn't stand school. What did I say? You got the smarts, but you don't apply it. So, and by the way, guys, I'm rambling on for two reasons. One, I'm good at it. Right. But the other thing is nobody's asking for a link yet. So, and that's fine. I could just do this solo. So we're good. I appreciate the interaction from the audience, by the way. So let's see. Two Live Moo, just like the Brady Bunch with the Tiki Idol. Okay. So yeah, they had some of those, and I don't know what each one stood for. So I didn't get any of those from the gift shop, but they did have the wooden tiki idols. I don't understand all of that. I did try to understand some of the language and some of the culture. I had somebody who lived there for a long time showing me around. We were hanging out with Hawaii Volcano Squad. If any of you guys know him, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, and I finally got to meet him in person. So he was explaining a lot of the culture and trying to help me pronounce some of the words and things like that. It's always good. Like I said before, when I come out to Nebraska and you guys you guys speak Nebraskese. So anytime somebody has an opportunity to show me something from where they live or where they grew up or where they've been living for a long time, I try to listen and I try to learn. Because when I was a kid growing up, we didn't take a lot of vacations. My parents are as cheap as New York Outcast. And when I became an adult, I said, I never want to live like this again. Now, when we were growing up, we were either low class or middle class, never upper class, right? Know a lot of people like that. And I know what to do to get to that, but that's just not what I want to do with my life. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just don't want to do that. I'm happy being middle class. But we didn't have a lot of money and stuff like that. But we still could have taken vacations and things like that. And we took a few trips here and there, but for the most part, I got to see another place because we moved there. We moved around all the time. So I was living places. Other people would travel there for a week or a weekend. I'd move there. So for me, I said, I don't want this. I don't want to be cheap like them. And with my first wife, it was difficult to take vacations because I was living on military income. And just like when I was a kid, we moved around. So you get to see things because you're living there. With my second wife, she was miserable to take on vacations. She made them so miserable. With my third wife, my current wife, she's fun. And she makes damn sure I have fun because sometimes I need somebody to kick me in my ass and tell me not to be so serious and have a little bit of fun. So we've been together 18 years. As a matter of fact, we renewed our vows on the beach. So, for 18 years, I've been taking some awesome vacations. Even when the economy sucked and we didn't have a lot to live off of, we found a way to make things happen. So, believe it or not, as much of a stick in the mud as I might sound like, I can actually be fun. But my decision to live my life the way I do really comes from just how I grew up. And don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing my parents. I can live off of next to nothing. But why should I? I mean, but yeah, I grew up poor, so I know how to live on nothing. I just don't talk about it too much. So let's see here. AK Lover. Hello, gents. Defense Dad, this break was brought to you by Visa. Yeah, when I ran up to get the shirt. Yeah, Visa or MasterCard or American Express. Although somebody told me I should get a Discover card. So maybe I'll try one of those at some point. Oh, Travis says send him a link. I'm running my mouth. And here. Recipients to... There we go. Send. Let me get caught up on these comments here. Let's see. Links, New York Outcast. Links start at $10. Yeah, I don't run my channel that way. I don't give a shit about that. I'll boot you if you're trolling. But you want to come on here? Go ahead. Is the chat working? I don't know. Is the chat working? I guess there's an arrow down, so I've been talking so much I haven't been reading it, but that happens on other chats, so other shows. So let's see. To live move. See, you learn to fight, then you move to Michigan. Okay, so here's the thing about that. I've been in Detroit. I'm not going to say that I like going down there. Downtown isn't bad. Downtown isn't bad at all. But you might see some crackheads or something, but it's not that bad. But like driving through the neighborhoods, I've had to before. I had a hooker jump in my truck one time when I was making a delivery down there. That was interesting. I'm pretty sure she was an undercover cop, but yeah, that was whatever. Anyhow, yeah, I don't go down there because I'm not looking for trouble. But like Flint, no, there's no place in Flint I'm afraid of. Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, nothing. Walk through downtown Las Vegas, where some people are scared to be. I mean, you guys would think of the Strip and all that. No, like downtown, like with all the old buildings and the bums and all this other stuff. Drunk off my ass at 2 a.m, and I wasn't afraid. So, but I wasn't looking for trouble either. All right, there's Travis over there. Let's see. Add to stage. All right, I think you're in, Travis.
All right, let's check and see what we got going on here. We got some audio. How we doing, man? We good?
Yeah, your audio sounds good. Yeah, I'm just getting caught up on the comments. I wasn't getting anything at first, so I'm trying to explain all these things, and which leads to me explaining something else and something else.
I mean, I know you're still learning how to do this whole podcast thing. You've only done a couple, so hey, switch the camera view so you can see the whole background. I got to show off my new Christmas present I got. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, check that out, baby. Oh, you muted yourself in the process.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Right. Now we're good. Now it's complete. Look, I wore my Hawaiian shirt in honor of your trip out to Hawaii.
There you go.
I have not had a chance to make the coffee yet, but I'm going to, so it's all good to go.
Yeah, I've been. I sent Travis some coffee from the islands because I figured he'd appreciate it. And that's something else too. Like when I'm on vacation, I might pick up gifts for people. I'm not there with a list of people and what I should get them. It's just I see something and go, oh hey, they might like this. So I only got gifts for 2 people, other than my kids. And Travis is funny. So they're kind of laid back on the island. So I went to the first
just a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, it's. I've been out in the country where they're laid back, but damn, they're laid back on the island. So I go to the first post office. She locks up the post office, walks out the back door, and goes to the food truck across the street. And shooting the shit with the guy. I'm like, who's here to take the mail? So fuck this. So we drive down, we're going all the way to Kona. So I'm driving all along the edge of the island. So get to another one. I get there and there's one person working and the lobby's closed, but they've got a window right before you get to the lobby. And somebody's there getting a package and they walk away and I've got your box. And they're like, oh yeah, come back tomorrow. What do you mean come back tomorrow? They're only giving people their mail
You have
They
the
don't.
worst luck of anybody I know. I've gone to UPS like 4 times, and each time I've been in and out in 5 minutes, and it's been no drama, no surprise. They got 8 intelligent, working human beings behind the counter. I don't know.
I go.
It must be a Nebraska thing, huh? And
I
then you
went
go to
5.
UPS. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the UPS store over here, that was just crap. But I go 5 to 7 more minutes up the road to the next post office. This one's actually open on a Monday, and there's a line of people. Gee, I wonder why, because all the other ones are fucking closed. And there's people in there. This is something I don't get. It's in Hawaii, they don't deliver the mail. You have to go to the post office to get your mail.
Yeah.
What? Right? UPS will deliver, FedEx will deliver, but the post office, even though you see mail trucks going here and there,
Yeah.
nope. You got to go get your stuff. So I'm waiting in line in the rain because it rains all the time there. And with your box, I finally get in there and I mailed it. And I don't even think it left Oahu for like 2 days. It went from I went from Hawaii to Oahu, sat there, and then came over to the mainland. But that was just part of the experience. I went to some grocery stores. I did some other stuff. What somebody who would live there would do, like go to the post office. And I got to see what it was like. And it's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
What about like did you go to any fast food places to see if anything different than what we have?
So we went to McDonald's on Oahu. The price was about the same. The lobby was about the same size, same weight, everything. It was all about the same. And we went to Panda Express in Hilo, and that was interesting. They had some good old boys in there.
Really, some pastas in there?
They had you could tell that Hawaiian Hicks in there.
Hicks.
And,
how the hell does that work? They look like us, but they're like, "Hey, what's up? You want some chow?" They're just like wearing like Hawaiian shirts or something instead of like Carhartt or what?
Like there had to have been a trailer park somewhere that these guys come out of.
No Mossy Oak breakup. They probably have Hawaiian palm breakup is what they are. This is camouflage in Hawaii, right? Is this what you wear? Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I think I only wore one of these like 2 days over there, and it's just mostly.
I don't know. In all the photos you took, you're wearing your damn blue Hawaiian shirt, so you must have did all that photo stuff in one day. So I don't know.
That was probably just in one day because I was running around so much I didn't have time to do a lot of stuff. But so it was kind of interesting. So I get some history, I get some sightseeing, I get some time with the wife, I get to see my friend in person finally after 7 years.
Hawaii Volcano Squad. Yeah.
But I also get some culture. I also get the, just all right. What like I found out that the hula dance is not from Hawaii. It's from Tahiti.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so was it brought by the indigenous that came over from those islands and settled in originally, or what? Okay.
Yeah, we went to a luau where they did performances for us, and they explained the history. And I talked to one of them later, and I said, I think this is so great that you went into detail and explained all this history and what this means, because they interacted with the audience and they were trying to get us all to laugh and do all this. It was fun, but there was also they were as a teaching moment. And I'm always interested to learn about other cultures. Having moved or lived in so many different places, I got to adapt to the culture. So that's why when I talk about Michigan, I can talk about it from the outsider looking in, even though I've lived here a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know people that have never set foot in the state and they think what they think about it, or they don't understand some of the stuff. Yeah. And I can explain it like a translator, right? You know.
Oh, yeah. That would just be like, somebody, I guess I've been in Nebraska my whole life. I don't know if I've really spent a decent amount of time really anywhere else other than just like vacations for a week or so. So no. But dude, I am looking forward to that coffee. What were you talking about? But what was the topic for tonight? We're talking about vacations, or what was it about? What, Christmas or what? Yeah, what was the topic?
Vacations. What do they mean to you? Is your vacation going somewhere? Is it staying home? Why? What is what's your outlook on vacations?
Yeah.
And time off. Do you purposely try to find a job or a career with paid time off?
Oh, absolutely not. I would never do something like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. So just so everybody knows, I'm a public school teacher. So, I get the summer off, but just in my defense, I do other stuff for the district in the summertime. I do actually write curriculum, build curriculum. I get a lot of downtime. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but there's quite a bit I do in the summertime too. I do have paid responsibilities I do in the summer. They've asked me if I wanted to teach summer school, and I don't usually do it. But that's the thing with me is, I've got the summer off. So, vacations, I haven't really had to plan months in advance when I'm going to go or when. It just has to happen in June, July, or August. So, but for me, it's always been visiting my buddy, Matt and his family. You know, my other buddy Matt down in Texas. Not never enough ammo, Matt, but I've gone down there and visited them before they moved to Nebraska.
You mean the
But
other Texas Matt?
yes, yeah. Well, there's probably several of them. But when I was married, no, the ex and I would go all over the place. We'd get in the car. We drove down to Orlando we drove to Orlando once. Took the train to Orlando a second time to go to Disney World 2 times over about 10 years. Drove down the first time, absolutely beautiful. Man, the Smoky Mountains or whatever, not Smokies, Appalachians. When you go southeast, it's just like hills and trees and mountains, just absolutely, we're talking like go through Kentucky. I don't know my geography. Tennessee.
Yeah,
Southern Michigan, the Carolinas,
The Smoky Mountains are part of the Appalachians.
Okay, I don't know these things, so
you're good. You're good.
Yeah. So, but then you get to a point where like you come over a hill and boom, it's flat and you're in Florida. That's the thing that blew my mind is like it just literally you come over the hill and there's damn palm trees and sand. It's like you go from one climate region to the other. They're making like moonshine and there's like a like a Cabela's Christmas catalog cover with like the cabin and the pickup truck like over here. And you go over the hill and it's just like it's like a 2 Live Crew video. It's like Miami, So yeah, it's pretty sweet.
And that's just it too. I mean, for you, was it the destination or the journey?
It's a destination because I hated the journey because I was always nervous driving because we're slow drivers and the most terrifying driving I've ever done in my life is Atlanta, the closest I've ever been to real life NASCAR. And I can confirm a 2013 Honda Insight will do triple digits if you ask it to. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Travis, I want you to take the Barstow Challenge. I want you to go to Barstow, California. That'll make Atlanta seem like a park.
Dude, Atlanta was like 6 lanes full out, like 6 lanes. And then you hear that one thing that no husband ever wants to hear from his wife when you're in the middle of traffic doing 90. Honey, I got to pee. Are you kidding me? What? Why did you go before we left? I didn't have to go. So we're like, where do you go pee on an Atlanta expressway? First, I was going to say, we'll just sit on a towel. We'll fix it when we get there. And then we did find an exit, and the good people at Advanced Auto felt sorry for us when we pull up with our Nebraska license plates because normally they don't let you use a public restroom. Apparently, in this Atlanta Advanced Auto Parts, but I started car talking with the guy, and he had some sympathy on me, and he let my wife the ex-wife, go use the bathroom. So yeah, Defense Dad is right. I am a slow driver, dude. I am a ridiculously slow driver. Now, I won't be when I get my new vehicle, but I am right now. So yeah.
He is a slow driver. And what's funny is Defense Dad is the fastest person in Nebraska. Behind the wheel. But the people in Hawaii drive slower than you, Travis.
Well, is it because the speed limit's like 35 and 45 everywhere you go or what? Or not?
Well, that's part of it. They've also got speed humps all over the place. But I just like when I got to Oahu, they had expressways and I was going through withdrawals, right? And I'm finally able to get up to 82, and I'm driving the same car Defense Dad has, so I feel like a baller.
Yeah. You got the 300
I got the car. I'm finally able to go over 35, but they were so slow and nobody cares about getting there, right? It's like,
what are gas prices there? Do you happen to check it at all?
$5.20 to $5.30 a gallon.
Oh, that's worse than California, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But it's all part of the experience. It's about going, man, I don't have
getting jacked on everything because you're on an island. That's part of the experience. That's pleasant. Okay.
I mean,
you pay the island tax. Is that what we're going to call it? The island tax?
Yeah. But I mean, everywhere we go, we always bring extra. Everywhere we go, we have a contingency. We've got money in the bank and the bills are paid.
I know that. I'm just saying that living that on a daily basis would just drive me nuts. I'd have to live at least where there's a Costco nearby. There's got to be at least one on somewhere in Hawaii, right?
There is one in Kona.
Okay.
I think there might have been one in Hilo, but I didn't see it, but that was it. Yeah. So here, let me scroll down through the
check out Moo's comment on that. Moo, I've driven down to Key West before from Miami, and he's right about Deer Key is what it's called. Deer Key is 25 miles an hour, and they have these fences on both sides of the highway, and the deer are these dwarf deer that live on the island. Like they're about the size of my corgi. Like they literally are like a foot tall. You see them, you're like, what the?
Yeah, so growing up on the coast of North Carolina, our deer were the size of German shepherds. Because
is that even a deer?
No, they're still white-tailed deer, but they're small because of what they've got to eat right there on the coast. But that's a real thing.
We could probably literally run one down and just capture it and tackle it. You wouldn't even have to shoot it. You would just, I mean, they can't be that fast.
I've put a deer in a headlock before, and they're not really that strong. No. So
I believe it. Why do I not doubt that? Yeah.
So all right, Northern North Carolina. So when I was in a military station there, I couldn't make ends meet on what I had, and I took part-time jobs out in town. So one of the jobs was working at a gun range. That's right. This
Yeah.
guy, he
Yeah.
saw me walking the highway picking up aluminum cans, because I'd pick up the aluminum cans to take them in and turn them in for money. It's something I
Yeah.
learned as a kid growing up. That's
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
did to pay the bills sometimes,
Yeah.
right? And he sent his lackey out there to go get me. This guy pulls up in the car and goes, "Hey, you, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm picking up cans to turn in for money." He goes, "You want a job?" And I'm going, "Well, what kind of job?" He goes, "My boss wants to see you. Hop in." So I put my cans in the back of his car, and he drove me over to this. So there's this gun shop,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's a gun range on the side of the gun shop. Then he's got a gun range down the street, and he runs a security guard company out of there. So he's got multiple businesses in one location. He goes, "I need a groundskeeper and a handyman." And he says, "I'll pay you cash to do all this work." So one of the times I'm out there doing groundskeeping on the gun ranges, and this deer comes walking across the range, and he yells, "Get out there and get that deer off there right now." It wasn't a wild deer. It was the neighbor's pet deer, Bambi. Had a collar on it and
Oh
everything.
my
So
God.
this whitetail's walking out there, and these good old boys are salivating, right? And
Oh
I
my
run out,
God.
"Cease fire, cease fire." And I grabbed it by the collar, and it wouldn't move. So I put it in a headlock, and I drug it off the range across the highway and put it back in the pen and closed the gate. Somehow or another, somebody left the gate
I
open.
wonder what ASPSCSA or whatever they're called would say about that. You know,
I didn't know you could have a pet whitetail deer, but that's how I learned they weren't very
Wow, it's
strong.
probably a therapy deer or like an emotional support deer. I think if
And
that's the
this is back in
situation,
the
you can
90s.
have
That horse shit didn't exist back then.
you could have any animal you want
It's
now
not.
as an emotional support creature, and that's fine. Whatever works for you. If you want an emotional support ferret or
Could I get a Komodo dragon?
I want a marmot. I think marmots are freaking
Oh,
sweet, dude.
jeez.
You want? I get those marmot videos. They get pushed across on my Facebook. I never asked for them, but there's ones where they're like scratching their belly and stuff. I don't know if you. I think is a marmot the same thing as a hedgehog? I can't remember, but man, they are freaking sweet, dude. They look like little fat. They look like little fat prairie dogs, is what they look like. So, anyway, I don't know what language the guy's speaking to him, and maybe he's Japanese or something. But marmot, I think a pet marmot would be freaking awesome. I mean, actually, a honey badger would be cool if I knew it wouldn't kill me. I would love to have a honey badger because those things are that's my favorite animal all across the board. Nothing beats a honey badger, dude. I
think
yeah.
I would just take a chicken around with me, because there are chickens all over the islands, and now I have to have chickens.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Are you gonna start raising some bantams and stuff, or what? You gonna get into chicken breeding? Get your eggs on?
There used to be a chicken coop where my garden is, so all I have to do is just put one there.
What's city policy on roosters and chickens in city limits?
Don't know about having roosters, but I can have chickens. So
you can have chickens.
I can have chickens.
Okay.
I just don't know if I can have roosters. So
I don't know how this works. Don't you have to have a rooster to have eggs, though? No, you don't, because they don't have to be fertilized. Do that? I don't know how this stuff works. I'm from Nebraska. I don't know how farm animal husbandry works.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Or don't they teach that in elementary school there?
No, you have to have a rooster to make eggs, right?
Okay, wait, was this chicken sex ed?
I don't know. I guess I've never looked this
up. As a public educator, do I have to sign a waiver? Do I have to get my mom?
No, we don't cover this in teachers college. No, like how to chickens reproduce. I don't know how this stuff works.
Can you sign this so Mr. Patushka can teach me about poultry sex?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, I don't know. I guess I don't really know how. I have to do the chickens. They just make the eggs anyway, right?
I think so. But still, it's not really for the eggs. It's
Where's roll call at? Let's call roll call right now and ask him. He's like Farmer Bill, who's got everything on his ranch.
I like throwing food at the chickens and they'd go eat it. So it's like, feeding a dog. Let me try to get caught up on all these comments here real quick.
Okay. So small caliber arms reviews right there. So no, but I'm looking at Guns and Barbecue's comment, but I didn't know I don't know if it would take something, because I always thought the eggs would hatch if you put them in an incubator, if they came from a hen. Guys, I don't know. I guess I'm just confused. I don't know what came first.
I wouldn't mind eggs and all that stuff. I just want to feed them like pets. So,
but the eggs would be awesome, because then you don't have to spend $4 a dozen anytime we have like an avian shortage or something, like an outbreak or whatever,
I mean, I don't.
And nobody ever says no to fresh farm eggs. I'll say that right now, dude.
Don't.
Yeah,
they're better. So let's see. About 26 minutes ago, Two Live Moose said, "So you learned to fight, then you moved to Michigan." Yeah, I learned to fight in Georgia, and then I moved to Michigan. And when these kids up here had to deal with me, I had the Southern drawl from Georgia. I sounded like Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. And I used to have a big old belt buckle on my Levi's jeans and all that. And,
There you go.
and they would pick on me and be like, y'all quit, y'all. And
Don't
it
you
just
sass
made
me.
yeah. And so I had one of them take a swing at me and I knocked him on his ass.
Good for
And then
you.
the next one and the next one. They're like, okay, this guy can fight. Couldn't play football. Didn't know what hockey was, but I could fight. So
Wait, what is hockey?
They
Is that a
stopped messing.
sport? Oh no, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I
Yeah.
actually enjoy watching hockey.
Well, that's the thing. I grew up with NASCAR, right? And these guys
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it was well for me. It was NFL football, NASCAR, and then I was actually a huge motorsports fan. F1, IndyCar. I still am with F1. And then motorcycle racing. I love like MotoGP, AMA, and stuff like that. And motocross racing. I love watching that when I was a kid. So there's always so much of that on TV when I was younger.
Well, I didn't have anything in common with these kids, and eventually the drawl went away. And if I'm down south long enough, it comes back. But let's see here. Fluffy 10mm Jeep guys in.
Fluffy 10mm Jeep guys in the house.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's you. Keep asking me for a link, and man, now I lost where I was.
Quick heads up for just a shameless plug real quick while you're looking that up. I'm going to be putting out a bunch of videos this week. Just to let you guys know I've got some downtime now. I've actually been waiting weeks for stuff to show up that I've ordered that I intended to make videos for. And one of them, that Toro conversion slide, I haven't heard from him at all. Tried calling him today. I waited for a half hour to get through on customer service. Couldn't. And then I've also got a red dot that I ordered that's been delayed for 3 weeks. I've been waiting for that to show up. It's supposed to be here on Thursday. So I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to get out to the range a couple times and stuff. And then I've got a bunch of stuff sitting on the table that I'm going to make videos for both my channels. So we're going to get Live Love Nebraska fired up in January. It's gonna be starting up here pretty soon too. So Matt's been busy with his family his in-laws came and stayed with him for a month. And so every weekend was occupied.
Do you have a list of places that
you're God, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've got a ton of places to go to. Yeah. We've got people on standby that want to let us interview them anytime. I'll tell you what, we don't ask for a dime when we do that. And these small business owners are fantastic. You just give them a heads up, go eat food, go talk to them, say, hey, we want to come back and do an interview. Are you cool with that? We give them a card, check out the channel, and then we check in with them about a week later, and they're usually pretty cool about that. So they don't care. I mean, it's free advertising for them. We haven't had anybody say no. So there's been a couple times where we haven't interviewed the managers because they've been super busy, and we just did food reviews instead. But yeah.
All right. Defense Dad said, got it. There will be a kick squib in the ass stage at Thunder on the Prairie 2024.
Yep.
Yeah, but you have to yell, have fun when you're kicking me. So
kick me in the Jimmy.
Okay. Guns and Barbecue. I just thought you were super narcissistic and wanted to do the show alone. I mean, I was ready to do the show alone, but what happened is I started doing what I've seen other hosts do. They focus on this comment here and go into detail, and then there's 50 comments below it and lose track of stuff. So
you can click on the comment; it'll put it up on the screen. Squib. You actually
that's more clicking.
All right, man.
A real man doesn't ask another man for a link. A real man would create his own link.
I do. That's very true. I'll be like, you know what? You want me to be on your show? You can click on my link, and then I'll click on your link. All right. Hey, do you smell that coffee yet that I sent you? Did you get a whiff of that stuff at all, or not?
No, I haven't opened it up. It's actually, I put notes.
Yeah,
I wrote notes on it, and I've got that and some other coffee and coffee mugs and everything just lined up in a row. So I've still got 3 more to do in the next 6 days.
Yeah, no, that's fine, man. You're gonna love it, dude. You're gonna love it. They just roasted it that day, so
I'm doing the Sumatra. The other one I'm not doing a review on. I'm just gonna make it. There's been 2 days already where my wife has said, "Could you not make a fucking coffee review and just make me some coffee?" So.
I thought, don't you share with her when you make those 4 pots?
I do,
you guzzle for every video.
What you don't see is me down there flubbing my intro, going, "Welcome back to the stovetop," because I'm half awake, right?
Yeah.
You don't see for an hour cussing myself out and doing take after take after take on a coffee review that only like 16 people are going to watch, and it. You don't know
that. They're slow burners, dude. They do gain over time.
So I don't care about that. I'm just saying for the amount of effort you think I would have like a million.
No, YouTube hates us. No, that's fine. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. 2 live moves. Splitting hairs between hookers and cops. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that hooker was a cop. So there was a Cadillac pulled over around the corner, and there were 2 Detroit cop cars on either, one on either side of him, and
Yeah.
it was an old dude in there. So I'm pretty sure she got him, and then she just set
Ah,
up and jumped in my truck. And it's
what is that philandering? Is that what they call it when you're entertaining when you offer money to a prostitute or
I don't
something?
know, but she
What do they
jumped in
actually
my
call it?
truck. I didn't
Soliciting?
wave her over. She jumped in my truck.
Really? She's
Yeah,
like,
well,
hey, she jumped into like, who are you? Just drive,
kind of.
baby.
No, it wasn't like no. So she
Oh,
jumps in. I had the doors unlocked, right? She jumps in and she goes, "Hey, baby, you want a D?" I said, "A what?" She said, "A D, baby.
you
You
mean
want a
vitamin
D?"
D,
I
like a
said,
supplement
"A
or something?
what?" "A date, honey. Do you want a date?" And I'm looking
Well,
at her and I go, "Not with you. Get the hell out of my truck."
how would that get you arrested though? Because wouldn't there have to be a monetary exchange or discussion of funds?
That's what she
Because
was leading towards,
I got
and I'm
ladies
pretty
all the time
sure
like, hey, Travis, you want a date? I'm like, nah, line form's left.
her
I'm like,
so her front 2 teeth were missing, but I'm pretty sure they were blacked out. I think her teeth were there and they were black. So they were trying to make her look like a. It's like,
oh
no,
my
no. First
god,
off, I'm not falling for this, and secondly, no, man, I'm not. I
my
don't want to
squad must
do.
have had some
I,
budget
I
cuts or
said,
something.
I
Yeah.
said, I don't want anything you got. Get out of my truck.
You
So
think they could have got like a real one that had been arrested and just said, look, if you do these run throughs with us, we'll cut your time or
Travis, this is
something, or
Detroit. You're too creative. Don't link in my Detroit, okay?
don't link in my Detroit. Wait a minute. What? How? What's the what? Dude, I'd say Nebraska has more free. Lincoln's probably got more freedom than Detroit does, doesn't it? I don't know. I mean, what's is Michigan constitutional carry yet or not?
No, no, it's
Scoreboard.
it's gonna be a long time. I'm gonna move to somewhere that's got it first. So
Oh, Ammo Dog
let's
wants me
see.
to rub his belly.
New
What are
York
you
Outcast.
doing?
I had a hooked jump in my truck at the end of my block. Had to give her the boot quick. So it's happened to more than one person here.
I have
Uh,
not had that happen before, so I can say that I don't really
I'll
know what
take
I.
you. I'll take you over to
Okay, no, it's okay.
6 Mile and Conant over there by the prison and show you.
Is that
And
where
then,
Eminem is from?
yeah.
He's from 8 Mile. Is that right? I've seen his house. He grew up in a
I,
pretty
I
nice.
go I go grocery shopping on 8 Mile, dude. It's not. It's
Good,
yeah. The,
good.
the movie. The movie
Well,
doesn't
with
do
the
it
urban
credit.
renewal stuff, those things just don't
No,
happen.
no, it's not what people think it is. I mean, I went to trade school on 8 Mile. I mean, I'm not saying I'd live there, but it's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever. Let's see. Sandhills Media is in the house. Gizzard Gary, Panda Express, never tasted panda. Yeah, okay. That Panda
Kind of
Express we
gamey.
had, the Panda Express we had in Hilo, Gary, was terrible, but it was about the only thing that was open because everything closes early. It's like Deadwood. If you guys ever go to Deadwood and you want to stay up late and drink and do all that, the casinos are open late, but all the restaurants close early and everything else. So yeah, that was kind of something that for next time we go, we'll know, get up early and plan to call it a night early because those people they all go home. So
Something unique I saw at the Key West McDonald's when I was down there. They still did fried fruit pies, which they don't do. They've been doing baked for like 20 years. They still did fried. It was like the early 2000s. In fact, I've got the container floating around here. I might grab it. Sorry, doggy's whining. He wants a belly rub. And then they also had sweet and sour on tap. I've never seen that before in a McDonald's. So
wow.
let me see if I can find that container real quick. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
I'm going to read some more comments here. Let's see. Travis has been losing weight, looking good, no gay. I mean, well, not too gay. I think you mean no homo, dude. But it's good. Here, let's see. Congratulations, Travis. Travis twerks outside the local cougar bars in his spare time. It's disturbing. Defense Dad, you're not wrong. But you have to go to Thunder on the Prairie to see this. So if you want to see, you don't want to see it. Just, yeah, the Cougars love it. Yeah, they do. They do. Atlanta does suck. Have gone, where'd I go here? Have gone through it many times. Yeah, you take the bypass around Atlanta, but there's no place you can really just pull off on the side of the road and go to the bathroom. So, having lived in Georgia, yeah, Atlanta is something that I'll go right through town. Sometimes that's faster than the bypass. It just depends on what time of day, but yeah, there's no real place to
Hey, I
pull off
found
there.
it. So this is, that whole Pixar didn't happen thing. So this is the container from the Key West McDonald's. This is the fried apple pie container.
Yeah.
And it still has the date code on it. This is what we got. I kept it because I had not seen one of these in like 20 years. It was June 19th of 2005 at 7:06 p.m. So yeah, this is what the fried fruit pies. And then when you fold them, they had this remember they had the little angled thing on here like this. See?
So did you ever work at McDonald's?
No, I did not. No, I worked in
Okay,
grocery stores and
so
restaurants. And well,
I
okay,
have.
I worked in like sit down restaurants or whatever. So yeah,
So originally, you'd take a pen, and there'd be a white circle on the end of that flap that you close, and you could write the time on it.
yeah.
And then they started taking the price gun, and you would just set it and just put the little sticker on there. But yeah, I remember when we deep fried them, and then we went to baking. It's
Oh
about
yeah.
the same amount of work, so I
Well,
don't
they were just
really know that one tastes better
they
than
were like
the
molten
other.
lava. I think they did cherry ones too. There were so many times I burned my mouth on those things.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I think like Whataburger maybe, or there's a couple burger places that still do fried fruit pies. Maybe I don't know if Chick-fil-A does. There's like a popular Southern restaurant chain that still does fried pies. So
All right, let's see. Defense Dad. To be clear, Travis is the slow driver. Yes, Travis is the
Mhm.
slow driver. Defense Dad. If I was talking fast and
Oh,
I
I'm
got him across there,
yeah.
yeah. Defense Dad drives fast and Travis drives slow. It's like night and
Well, you
day.
know the rationale. It's because you don't really know what the speed limit is in Nebraska because you saw it firsthand. Our speed limits will fluctuate 5 or 6 different speeds in a 5-mile distance. Remember when we're going out to the range, it
Yeah,
was
but I
35, it was 65, it was 45, it was 50, it was 43. It was
I mean, I guess I just,
You just go. Yeah,
I
see,
don't,
no, in
yeah, I don't care.
Nebraska,
I
they
don't
will
care.
ticket you for going 3 over, like 3 more than 3 over,
So
not on I-80. Anywhere but I-80, they'll get you for going more than 3 over.
I
Yeah,
was in Western Nebraska and I passed a guy on the highway. I was doing 98 miles an hour and I passed him and he's honking at me. I'm going, why?
you scared him.
Scared him, so
I
whatever.
just don't I saw the Michigan plates, I just let them go, so, yep.
And that's just it. Here, if you don't drive defensively, you get run over. It
Oh,
was,
man,
yeah,
God,
yeah, it
no,
was.
see
And
well,
and
part of
this
my
is not
problem
the
is
worst driving. This is not
not
the worst
having a
driving.
vehicle powerful enough, though, too, to keep up is part of the problem. I got a little 2-liter 4-banger that just doesn't have a lot of to it, you
Man,
know?
I drive a diesel. It ain't got no get up and go. I just,
Yeah, you got some pretty good torque, though, that kinda pulls it if it needs
eh.
to, so, yeah, yeah.
Two Live Moo. Washington D.C. is very close. What, to our traffic? No, D.C. is a lot worse than Michigan traffic, and you've really got to drive defensively in D.C. I hadn't been to D.C. in a long time, and when I went in 2019 for the rally, uh, it wasn't as bad as what I remember, but it was still, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to be defensive. The old drivers in Florida, New York Outcast, the old drivers in Florida make me nervous. Yeah, and then that's seasonal too in Florida and Arizona when they have the snowbirds come down. I guess it gets twice as bad from what I hear. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, let's see. Yeah, and then you got all the grandpas with their golf carts in their you know retirement communities driving around drunk driving the golf carts on the side of the road. So,
Hey, do you wanna
uh,
see what Defense Dad's talking about? The crisp meat burrito? You want me to share the Amigos menu real quick?
sure.
Not trying to hijack your chat or anything, but people wanna see what the crisp meat burrito is of which he speaks. You haven't tried one of those yet, Squid. We just got you the breakfast from Amigos. When you got those big old burritos that we got for you when you stayed with us? Alright.
Yeah, and this is what I mean about going where the locals go to eat. It's kind of like when we've traveled out of state and I've taken my family, even just to fast food restaurants that we don't have in Michigan. Like for a while there, just going to Chick-fil-A was something for us.
Oh, yeah.
Now they
Yeah.
now they've got more Chick-fil-A's in Michigan, so it's not a big deal. But I remember, taking them to Whataburger, took them to In-N-Out Burger, to Hardee's, which I think there's only two in Michigan, and then to Carl's Jr., which is also it's Hardee's,
Yeah.
but it's just out
Yeah.
west. I haven't taken them to a Roy Rogers yet. We went to a
I've never been to one of
Zaxby's.
those.
I
Yeah.
remember the first restaurant I took them to that was foreign to them was a Sonic because we didn't have Sonics here.
Oh, yeah.
And I grew
Yeah.
up with that. And I'm like, trust me. And my wife just did that. And then we went and I said, get the onion rings and get a shake.
Oh, yeah. That's all
Damn,
or
these are good.
get a cherry limeade Route 44. Dude, that's
Hmm.
it right there. And then
Yep.
their jalapeno poppers. Can you see the menu or not? You might have to switch a different view mode so that we can actually see it. I'm sharing it
Not
right
that,
now, but
not that, not that. I don't know.
no?
Uh,
Okay. I don't can you guys see the menu that are out there in the on watching on the YouTube side?
no,
Can you see the Amigos menu? They've
that
kinda changed
ain't doing
stuff
it.
a little bit here. Why am I not
Do I
okay,
have to
it's
click
saying I'm not logged in for some reason. I don't know what's going
to
on. I'm not
present?
gonna leave, but
It says add to stage, but you're already here.
no, can
So,
you can't see well, I don't think it's gonna let me post it
yeah.
because I'm not technically logged in, so let me try it real quick, and if something screws up, I'll click on the link and I'll just come back, okay?
Okay.
Alright, let me I don't know why it's asking me
All right. He'll be back, and he knows how to do this better than me. So let's see. Guns and Barbecue thought P11 was going to say those words where My water broke. You talking about when he's in Atlanta? Yeah. Guys, I'm way behind on this. New York Outcasts, they don't look or use turn signals at all. In Florida, probably not. But you know what? Turn signals, I mean, really live a little. I mean, kind of guess at it some. So, I mean, sometimes they're appropriate and sometimes they're not. I mean, if you're in the turn lane, why use it? Where else are you going to go, right? Of course, some people turn left from the right turn lane, so you can't win. I've actually got a video coming up about that. Florida Keys, when someone reports key deer, the speed limit is 20. Yeah, they were two live movie. You're talking about that. I haven't gone down to the Keys yet. We might go at some point. We were talking about going to Florida next year. We don't know, but kids kind of want to go to the Keys, but that would be a minimum of 3 extra days on a trip, and I don't know if I want to do that. So Vanessa Kitty's in the house. Hi, Vanessa. I'm way behind on the chat, and oh wait, Travis is. I got to click some sort of button. Add to. There we go. Add Travis to stage.
Okay, now it says I'm here. So, hey, real quick on the Florida Keys, I recommend it, but I will say this: there isn't much of swimming beach for you when you go there. There's like maybe I think there's one public swimming beach on Key West, and there's only a couple hotels.
So there's two reasons we don't want to go to the Keys. One is because there really isn't any beach there, and two, people think they're at the southernmost point in the United States, and they are not.
Well, that a citizen can go non-military.
No.
Right? Because you go to the buoy at mile marker 0. Isn't that the southernmost point?
Nope.
Well,
it's on the Big Island.
It's what?
The southernmost point in any state is on the Big Island.
Okay.
The southernmost point on the continental United States is on.
And that's not even continental because it's technically an island too.
Well, it's part of Florida, so it's
okay. I got you.
The southernmost point in the country is actually some atoll out in the Pacific that like 35 scientists live on, and most people can't go to. But the southernmost point of any state in America is on the Big Island, and at some point I'll have a video on that too. So people cliff dive off of it. So
hey man, I'll tell you what though, if you go to Key West, though, you got to go to the Hemingway house. Ernest Hemingway's got a house down there. There's some freaking sweet stories they tell you. And here's the best part. He actually wrote most of his books in the guest house out back. And they gave us a tour out back of the guest house. And they're showing it off, like how his typewriter's still there. There's still pages that are in it and stuff. And when I was there, I raised my hand and said, yeah, I said, do you guys have a public restroom here I can use? Because the Hemingway house is privately owned. And the gal was like, oh, you can just use the bathroom downstairs. And I'm like, that's Ernest Hemingway's bathroom. She's like, yeah, you can go use it. I'm like, so you're saying I can use the toilet that Ernest Hemingway used? And she's like, absolutely. And I'm like, this is awesome. So that was like the highlight of my trip right there. Taking a dump in Ernest Hemingway's bathroom. That right there is like highlight of my life, people. I mean, seriously. That was freaking awesome. That was awesome. And did you know his house is actually the highest point on the island at 12 feet above sea level?
I did not know that either.
Interesting. Yeah. A lot of fun stuff.
But see, these are the things you can do when you travel. If you sit at home, you don't get to do these things.
And then you can go to Sloppy Joe's, the bar that he used to hang out on when he would write a lot of his stories and stuff. So, because he used to have a house in Key West, because he would go down and party in Cuba. This is pre-communist Cuba. Because pre-communist Cuba was like Vegas on an island. That's what it basically was pre-1954 or whatever, before the
revolution.
Yeah, look at Two Live Moo. And they sell like special edition books you can buy there. I was too cheap to buy one because they were actually cheaper on Amazon. And the tour, I think the tour might have been free. I don't even know. He still has like his 5-toed cats running around there that are still descendants of the cats. And
I just found that comment. I'm only at 8:04, so I'm 20 minutes behind.
8:04. What time zone are you in, bro?
No. I'm reading the comments that I'm falling behind.
Yeah, no, mine says
used to be overrun by 6-toed cats. Now it's chickens. Yeah, and Hawaii's overrun by chickens too, and that's kind of why I want a chicken, because I was feeding them, and I don't know.
Yeah, they got those bantams running around all over the place in Key West, man. They're beautiful roosters, though. They're freaking sweet. Till you see one in real life, it's like, dang. You only see them like at 4-H competitions and stuff growing up in Nebraska. Yeah.
Small Caliber Arms Review says chickens are the getaway animal, or the gateway. Oh, gateway animal.
Oh, hey. Yeah. Barbecue wants to link, by the way.
Farm over here in the suburbs. So does a woman need a man in order to cycle every month? No, Guns and Barbecue, she doesn't. So Small Caliber Arms Review, no rooster needed unless you want to hatch eggs. So yeah, there you go. Let's see. Let me scroll past some of. Have you ever had to clean a chicken coop in August? You won't want to have chickens anymore. Just saying.
Yeah, he's probably right about that. I wouldn't know the first thing about that. My grandma had chicken coops and rabbit pens out back of the house when I was a kid growing up, but that's
Guns
where
and
our
Barbecue
protein came from.
Guns and Barbecue. Fun fact: if you don't have a rooster, then a dominant hen will take on rooster characteristics, rounding up other hens, being more protective, etc. Kind of like being a chick in a flannel with a wallet chain.
Oh man. Hey, by the way, Guns and Barbecue is asking for a link. Just kind of give you a
Oh,
heads
is
up.
he? All right.
I
All
was
right.
ahead in the comments there, so I don't know if we can keep him
Let's
waiting. He
see
called
here.
you a schmuck or something. So yeah.
Yeah.
So much
So
abuse for the host this evening. And I'll tell you what, guys.
let's see here. Let me.
What else we got going on here? They also got Truman's Little White House, which you can go to in the Florida Keys, which is cool. They've got a lot of bars and party areas. I don't remember if they had a grocery store on that island or not. All I know is it was like 90 miles away from Miami, and it took us like 5 hours to get there because you can only go so quick over the islands. And then when we left, there was a huge storm that they had that brought up like a freaking wave up on the island that like covered up the whole island. So it was crazy, dude. I think I'd want to live on an island, dude. Not at sea level, and because God sneezes and you're done. You know, I mean that's really what it comes down to.
I
Yeah.
saw some things about living on the islands that I could see why somebody would want to live there, but I saw some other things just going, yeah, I'll just visit. But
I think the price is going to make me not
we
want
had the barrier islands when I was growing up, and those people are always screwed after a hurricane. It just
Oh,
cost them so much money.
they're the ones you see on the news getting rescued from their rooftop. They wrote like "Save me" on the top with white paint on their shingles, you know, and
Well, it's not that bad, but Defense Dad, I would have jumped in too, but having a kid on crutches is like having a 2-year-old again.
shit
Okay.
surgery. Yeah.
Let's see here. New York Outcast. I've seen roosters make decent guard dogs by the front door. I would use guinea fowl, but yeah, they might do the job. New York Outcast keeps most people away. The reptiles I used to keep downstairs would keep people away. They'd say, "You got lizards in your house? I'm out of here." So
You got a boa constrictor? What? You know?
yeah. You know what? I had one of those when I lived in North Carolina for a while. Yeah, he was kind of cool. He liked to watch Star Trek with me.
So Guns and Barbecue says, is the floor or roof 12 feet? No, it's the floor of the house is 12 feet above sea level. Yeah, not the roof. No, the floor. And he had a swimming pool out back. This is a great story. His wife caught him cheating on him. So she had his swimming pool filled in with concrete. So then he had it blown out with dynamite and redid it. He was so upset that he blew it out.
Hemingway or
yeah,
Guns
Ernest
N'
Hemingway.
Barbecue?
Yeah, his wife
Okay.
caught him cheating on him, and he had it blown out with dynamite. And then they redid his pool. He had the money. He didn't care. Awesome story. When his favorite bar got closed down, he was so upset about the bar closing down. He grabbed his favorite urinal. He tore it out of the wall and drug it to his house and then dumped it in front of his house. And it's been there for 50 years. And the cats won't go near it. I'm telling you, dude. He's like a hero of mine. Man. He's like that uncle that we all wish we had, you know? Yeah.
I guess he had style back in the day. Hey, Barbecue, how you doing?
All right. How about you guys?
Well, I'm behind on the chat, but
we're doing good. You got your Hawaiian shirt on or what?
Good.
No, I haven't had a Hawaiian shirt since I was like 12, and it wasn't a real Hawaiian shirt, so Squibby, would totally rip on me. But my parents didn't love me. They were like, "No, you get a Hawaiian shirt from Kmart." It might have actually been from Walmart. Like Kmart probably would have been a step up.
Walmart had Hawaiian shirts for a while there. They usually get them in the summertime. Yeah.
Yep.
So my dad never offered to buy me one and never got me one. He just said only ones from Hawaii are real Hawaiian shirts. So, I mean, it was kind of like you're on your own, kid. Let's see here. Gizzard Gary, sounds like my town. They roll up the streets and sidewalks around 10 p.m. Yeah, that was something. When we started going to Las Vegas, everything was 24 hours. And then the economy took crap. And when the economy came back, not everything was 24 hours. But it was nice being able to do anything around the clock. And honestly, for just what they've got there, I like that, especially with so many people coming in from all over the world. They're on different schedules and whatnot. So there are some things that are still 24 hours there, but it ain't like it was back in the day. Around here, there were a lot of things that were 24 hours. And then after the BS back in 2020, they kind of got rid of that, and very, very few things have come back to it. I don't like going somewhere where if I want to have a steak and a beer at midnight, I can't have a steak and a beer at midnight. I just don't. And you might say, is there a place? Yeah, there's probably about 6 places down the street that are 24-hour restaurants that I can go. There used to be more than that. So
if you ever want to have a Vegas chat, we'll get my old man on here, dude. He goes to Vegas all the freaking time, dude. He's been there more. I think he's probably at some point he's probably going to live there before he dies. Because he loves. They got friends that live in Laughlin and also in Reno.
Okay. Yeah,
so they go visit all the time and they love going out there. Lake Tahoe. That
Yep.
Tahoe is in Nevada, right? It's
Yes.
not. Okay. I was
No, wait. Tahoe is.
yeah, Lake
No,
Tahoe is in Nevada. Yeah.
Or is it across? Or is it across the border? Or it's either right on the border with California, or it's just on the other side because it's up there by Reno.
Because they've been out to Tahoe a couple times too.
Yeah.
So it is in. I don't know what the heck. Along the state line of California. And
Yeah,
Nevada.
it's right on. It's right on the line. I just can't remember what side it's on. So let's see here. Gizzard Gary also said he worked at Sonic. Yeah. Tell me the secret to the onion rings, Gary.
Dude, lots of love, and real trans fat oil. That's what it took right there. So
New York Outcast. I did for about 2 weeks and said F that shit. Well, Outcast, working fast food I think is good for humility, and you'll know that you can always work a job. If you can work fast food, you can work any job. And then you're always going to be able to feed your family. But it's not for everybody. It really isn't. It doesn't pay well. If you get promoted, even a swing manager, well, nowadays it pays well. Back in the day, it didn't.
Oh yeah, fast food restaurants out here start at $18 an hour.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, not start like the good, and that's non-managerial positions. They'll pay $25 an hour. So yeah,
and I don't
is good.
I don't see that changing unless the economy takes a hit.
No, because they're so strapped for labor, they're willing to pay more for it right now. So yeah.
Yep.
Let's see here. Defense Dad, the Nebraska fast food thing is getting a crisp meat burrito from Amigo. Okay, we already talked about that. McDonald's made carrying shingles look good. Oh hell no! I've carried shingles up to a roof, and I flip burgers. I'll.
Yeah, no. I worked in a restaurant. I washed dishes for 6 months and was a line prep cook for 6 months. After that, I switched over to a grocery store because they actually paid better. But yeah, no, I don't think those bundles of shingles are so freaking heavy.
Defense Dad saying, technically, I don't really speed too bad. Bullshit. I just get up to speed really fast. I grew up drag racing. So you're saying you're in drag.
Okay. So he just hole shots every light.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you what, keeping up with him, he'd do fine driving in Michigan. So I was 2 Live Move. I was referring to DC and Atlanta traffic. Oh, okay. I thought you meant well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, the traffic's bad, but DC and Atlanta traffic is really bad. It's worse than Michigan. I don't know that it's as bad as New York City or some places out in California, but if you live there long enough, you get used to it. Travis, we got to take him to Bagels and Joe for breakfast this year.
Oh my God, the breakfast burritos. We got to have a breakfast. Okay, so there's 2 things we're going to do, Squid. We're going to do a breakfast burrito shootout. We're going to get the Amigos Monster 3-meat breakfast burrito, and then the Bagels and Joe Chipotle burrito is what they call it. It's nothing to do with the Chipotle restaurant chain. It's a spicy pork chorizo grilled burrito. And then we're also going to do the breakfast sandwich shootout because you and I never got a chance to do that. We're going to do Jimmy Dean versus the world, right? What is it? What is that one that you like? What is the one that you like again? It's not Jimmy Dean. I like the Jimmy Dean.
Bob Evans.
Bob Evans. Yeah, we'll do just straight up sausage biscuit challenge. We're going to film those right on the patio, man.
And how many days am I going to spend in Lincoln?
You can just live whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Whatever you can do. So yeah, bring the wife and kids. Hey, by the way, just so people know, I've been talking to Defense Dad. Thunder on the Prairie 2024 is going to happen. So be watching for that. We'll go live a little bit and let the world know. We'll be, contacting people. Don't know what we're going to have for swag. We've already got some stuff lined up, but it should be pretty much the same idea as before. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Barbecue, how you doing, man? You doing all right? You hanging in there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Doing all right. By the way, quick little mention. I'm not trying to make this into a chicken chat or anything, but right before I got in here, I don't remember who it was, had commented, you should try cleaning out a chicken coop in August. I only clean out my chicken coop twice a year. And that is right before the winter and right after the winter because the chickens spend so much time in the coop during the winter, obviously. But what I do is a mulching process. And once a week, I just go in, throw down some new bedding, and the enzymes that's in the chicken poop will break down the bedding, and you just create a natural mulching process. It doesn't smell. And then you have a really nice chicken manure to fertilize your gardens with in the spring.
Are you using the pine that a lot of people pine pellets that people sometimes use as cat litter? They're little pellets that break into pine sawdust.
I go to Tractor Supply and get the shavings.
Yeah, like you use for guinea
like
pig or
hamsters
hamster.
and guinea pigs use that kind of stuff. It's cedar or whatever it is, cedar shavings.
No, not cedar. Cedar.
Cedar won't break down. The cedar won't.
Yeah,
Cedar will cover the smell better, but it won't break down the way the pine will.
Yeah.
But by doing the mulching process, there's no smell.
So I used to use it for guinea pigs, and the pine was cheaper, but it wouldn't cover up the guinea pig poop smell. The cedar would buy you a couple more days, but it just it didn't break down. Like if you were to actually try to mulch this stuff, it just wouldn't. So that's why I would recommend the pine.
Yeah.
For the garden, I wouldn't want to put the cedar in the garden, but the pine with all that would probably work out really well.
Oh, and it's cheap too. It's like, well, it used to be really cheap. I think it's maybe $5 or $6 for like a 20-pound cute bag of it, basically a 25-pound bag.
It goes a long way.
It does. Yeah. It actually works good as a cat litter too, just so people know. So
like when I do a clean out on the coop, like to start the new base, I normally throw down anywhere 4 to 6 inches of the pine shavings. So I mean, initially the startup to do that again is a little pricey. I mean, depending on what you consider pricey. When you're talking only $5 a 20-pound bag, I mean it's like a small square bale. It might take me 4 or 5 bags, so $25 to start that mulching process. Then, like I said, once a week I go in there, throw down layer of fresh shavings, basically just enough to cover the floor, and then literally I can go from my winter clean out when I do that in the spring and go from all spring all the way through the fall until the snow's about to fly, and never once clean out my coop. And you would never guess that it's a chicken coop. You don't smell it, nothing. It's amazing. Yeah, you just got to remember to keep up and throw some fresh bedding down every week.
This is kind of good. You're one of at least 3 people I know raise chickens, so I've got a resource to go to if I start doing.
I'm telling you, just the eggs alone. Just looking at how expensive eggs got. I mean,
eat them. I just want to throw them food and have them chase them. All right, let's see.
You're going to be the chicken whisperer. Is that? Why are you so aggressive?
Look, I was eating breakfast. I was having my I got the breakfast buffet, so I got a couple plates, and I'm taking something off every plate and feeding it to the chicken in the restaurant.
Colonel Sanders, come here. Why are you so aggressive, Colonel Sanders?
Let's see. Yesterday's
Popeye, get over here.
Yesterday's Pomade's in the chat, and he said Hulk Hogan owns a karaoke bar in Key West. Oh, yeah, I don't know if we're going to Key West or not, but maybe we will. Defense Dad says Travis.
Cool, you can drive around it in about 25 minutes, I think. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's
there's a lot of historic. There's a fort you can check out when you go there, which is really cool.
I'm not saying we won't, but I'm not saying we will.
Yeah, almost even like a day trip out there, maybe, or one night and then stay and then come back. So yeah.
Let's see. Defense Dad said, Travis, you definitely don't want to live on an island. One of my brothers lives in Corpus Christi on the island side, and they always have either a hurricane to deal with or a power grid that fails. Well, yeah, the hurricane makes the power grid fail, and that happens on the mainland too.
I would question Texas's power grid efficiency and modern. It's pretty shoddy, guys. I got family that lives down there, and they always got blackouts. So,
I grew up in a hurricane zone. That's the biggest issue. The power goes out for like a week.
Yeah.
That's all this other crap you see on the news, it doesn't happen to everybody. I'm not saying they can't be really bad, but when they tell you to leave, fucking leave.
Oh yeah, I'd be out there. Yeah.
So let's see here. Outcast sounds good for business, Defense Dad. Yeah, Outcast, you could go down there and you could make a killing fixing all the hurricane damage, but I don't know that the insurance company is necessarily going to work with you. So, 2 Live Move, Gizzard Gary still works at Sonic. Well, if he does, I want the secret recipe for you.
You're 44, baby, and some jalapeno poppers. That's all you need for a good. You can have a bad day at work, but you go get that, a cherry limeade and some jalapeno poppers.
Yeah,
life is just so much better. I'm telling you.
New York Outcast says, I'll still take the shingles. And Gizzard Gary says, the shingles sound painful. I'll pass. Yeah, I agree with you, Gary.
They can get a shot for that.
Yeah, that's what Gary just said. So
yeah, you can get a shot for that. Yeah.
Oh, chickens are allergic to cedar. I did not know that. Okay.
Okay, so no cedar.
Yeah, I was trying to say that.
All right. Oh. And what do I know? I'm in Nebraska and I know nothing about
you can say you put cedar up on the walls. as long as they're not pecking at it, which they're pretty good about not doing that, then from what I understand, that'll be all right. Because some people like to put cedar on the walls to keep bugs away, which I'm like, why? They're going to eat the bugs anyways. So,
well, so you don't get like infestations maybe of gnats and mosquitoes or something, or.
But again, the thing is, they're going to eat them.
Okay.
I let my chickens free range. They just run around the yard all day eating bugs. It's great.
Awesome, dude.
I still leave out chicken. I still leave out chicken feed and everything for them. And like once a week, I'll go to the grocery store and I'll buy a head of cabbage or some lettuce or something just to spoil them. But if you're letting your chickens free range, if you got a big enough yard, you could just watch the size of your chickens, and theoretically they could just live off of the bugs in your yard.
I know they like pineapples and potatoes.
Except in Nebraska in the wintertime, we got like 6 months where there's no insects. So that's,
well, yeah. Same here.
But there's a lot of people that I know that raise chickens, and there's a couple of people I know that actually they have ducks that don't ever leave that lay eggs. I mean, it's crazy, Yeah.
Yep. Duck eggs are different.
You can even get your own turkeys at like Tractor Supply Company and Orscheln's and stuff like that too. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Duck eggs are very silky.
No, I don't know if I've ever had like fried duck eggs before. I've had, I think I've had quail eggs before, but not duck. It's been a long time. So yeah. Funky.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind raising something like that for a food source or whatnot. But for me at first, I think it would be just more just as pets, poultry pets. So, if I got a place out in the country, it would be nice to have some critters. I'm a critter person, but they're also animals. For me, people come first. So some of them might get eaten. That's just the way it is. And most of them don't outlive people. So when they die, it's unfortunate. But probably the biggest critter we want is a donkey. And when that thing goes, I'm going to have to get a front end loader to haul that away because that's a big thing to bury. I'm not just burying that in the backyard with all the lizards. So, there's some things that come with owning animals, the vet bill and having the right place to keep them, the right kind of environment. And then going back to the vacation thing, who watches your animals while you're on vacation? We use Camp Bow Wow for the dog. If we don't have somebody staying at our house or we don't leave the dog with somebody that we trust that likes dogs, then we use Camp Bow Wow, and that works out great. They're all over, and our information's in the computer. They don't take cash, New York Outcasts, they're credit card only. And I can have them trim the nails and wash the dog like a couple hours before we go pick her up. And she's ready to go. And we can watch her on our phones. They got cameras in there, so you can watch your dog while you're on vacation and stuff like that. But if you've got an exotic pet, like all my reptiles and stuff pretty much take care of themselves. You can feed them once every 3 months and they'll be fine. So I'm not saying that's what you should do. You want to feed them periodically when you're home, or fatten them up, and then you could leave for 2 weeks and they're fine. Even if the power goes out, they're just going to pass out and go to sleep, and they'll wake up after you heat up their terrarium. But certain animals, you've got to have somebody you trust. That would be something I might do. If I ever retire, maybe I'll start up this side business where I take care of exotic pets for people on vacation. Because
Squibby's hen house.
When you think about it, snakes.
You make the hen live channel, and just all you do is just put the camera out back 24/7. The hen webcam, people can watch. People would watch that if you just had the camera out back of your backyard where the hens just walking around. People would just be like fascinated by stuff like that. I'm telling you, we're getting to that point in civilization where people are so easily entertained, man.
So, Squib, you want to know the difference between a horse and a donkey? Since you want a donkey,
the size, how much food you got to feed them.
So, if you were to load a horse into a horse trailer, then had an unfortunate accident, say you rolled the horse trailer or something. Next time you went to load that horse into a horse trailer, he's going to remember the horse trailer. He's not going to want to go into it. Now, say you did the same thing with a donkey and, ended up rolling the horse trailer. The next time you go to load that donkey into the horse trailer, the donkey's going to remember who the hell loaded him into the horse trailer in the first place.
Hey, let me be in these ones.
Let me be a Ninja Turtle.
Was that a dad joke and I just didn't get it?
No, I mean donkeys are dicks, and they don't forget. He's gonna remember if you do something wrong to him.
Oh, Defense Dad's going to start up his own business taking care of exotic dancers while their pimps are on vacation.
Oh my god.
Well, the other topic I had for tonight is about the audience. From a YouTuber's perspective, is I've noticed the audience has a short attention span, and I don't just mean the people that tell me that I'm long-winded. That's kind of obvious. Like in the past 2 weeks, I've gotten 2 comments saying, "Just get to the point. 6 minutes and 23 seconds for you to explain something. Why didn't you just say that?" And I respond with the same thing. Joe Smith, 1 subscriber, no videos. Go fuck yourself. Make your own video. Don't watch. And that's my attitude. When I do my videos, I try to explain what got me to this point. Or maybe periodically throughout, like I one of the coffee reviews I shot, I haven't edited it yet. I'm talking about why I use purified drinking water in that video. Now, I've talked about it in previous ones. I don't do it every single video, but periodically I bring that stuff up or whatnot. And if I want to go 6 minutes and 23 seconds before I show you whatever it is, that's my video. I can do whatever the hell I want. Now, if I'm out there e-begging going, please give me money, okay, then I probably should do what the audience wants or else they're not going to give me money. But I don't do that, so I don't give a shit. And I've noticed too that like the whole YouTube short thing that they started pushing a while back to compete with TikTok. Kids today just TikTok. They just flip. Three seconds of a video and they're on to the next one.
They watch a lot of YouTube videos, but they're on TikTok for hours. If you watch a kid on a phone, they're just going to flip through that and Instagram, and then if there's something they're interested in, and TikTok or Instagram takes them to YouTube, they'll watch the YouTube video and then they go back to TikTok again.
But they're not going to watch a 37-minute tutorial. They're just not. They're not.
If it's a kid and his dad watching like how to fix a car or something, there are some things that they'll watch all the way through. But the average audience attention span is like 3 minutes and 45 seconds on my videos anyway. But I know for like cleaning videos, I tend to have longer watch times and stuff just because you're doing it in real time, especially if it's a new gun owner or somebody who's like new to the firearms arena. So, yeah.
Well, I'm going to keep making my videos the way I want to make them, and to hell with what people say. I'll just keep telling trolls to fuck off. But when people tune into my videos and, they say, just get to it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. And there are, and don't get me wrong.
Just fast forward, bro. Or they'll put the timestamp in there. This is where it starts. And then you click on the number and it takes you to the beginning part, Yeah.
And I thought about doing that thing where you can put the little, there's a little thing down at the bottom there where you can show the different segments and you can put it in the description section showing the timestamp where to go to. That's extra work. I'm not willing to do it, but I've gone to look at some how-to videos and scrolled until I found what I was looking for. And most of the time, the camera angles suck. These guys skip 15 steps to get there. I don't like doing that. I like to say, you get this, you go do that. This goes in here. The reason you use this is because of this.
Well, and it eliminates a lot of questions that people ask after the video. It saves time. Right. If you go through and explain something completely and wholly, it'll do a really good,
Somebody just wants to say, where is this part at? Okay, well, then this ain't the video for you, pal. But I think
the videos get broken up by chapter now. If you watch it, YouTube automatically catalogs your videos. If you look at the time stream, if you drag across it, it'll say like introduction, first step, second step, bolt disassembly. It automatically divides your video up into timestamps now. Not really timestamps, but it shows you where it is on the video.
Mine don't.
Oh no! If you watch somebody else's video and you just drag your cursor across it, it'll tell you. Maybe that's a feature I've turned on. I have no idea because it shows. Like if I watch some of these car reviews and stuff, I'll hover over with my cursor over the timeline, and it'll say introduction, test drive, up on the hoist, like road tests or whatever, So yeah.
Well, see, the thing I don't like is somebody's got a 3.5-minute intro. What the fuck, dude? Now, that's your channel. You're going to do what you want. And send me a comment that says, fuck off, don't watch. But 3.5 minutes, at the beginning of every video where you're doing an intro. And I'm going, well, yeah, that increases your view time or whatever. Dude, if you want to do an intro or this, that, and the other, that's fine. But I mean, seriously, people are going to tell me, you took 6 minutes and 23 seconds to get to it. Did you see this guy's video?
Mm-hmm.
Or I like the ones where they got the long intro, they hook you, and then they start talking about, the sponsor of the video for 5.5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get into the video. I just scroll past all that. I don't leave any comments or whatever. I just scroll past it.
Yeah.
Yep. So I had one actually just a few days ago. I think it was. I think I was doing a video of refinishing a gun stock. I was true oiling it, and the guy was just like, "You have no idea what you're doing." I was like, "You're the guy that clicked on how to true oil a gun stock," but
yeah,
you're like that makes sense. But then, like the guys I know, what's it to you? You writing a book? You writing a book? Hey, butthead, are you writing a book?
Probably. He's probably taking notes right now.
Probably. I say if you're writing a book, leave this chapter out. No, like intros that are forever and a day long. I'm like 30 seconds. Like, I don't want to see your entire video catalog, highlighted before every video. Like, get bent.
I might, if it's somebody that I really like their videos, or it's one of my friends and I'm trying to help their analytics, I'll just mute it and then I'll unmute it when they're done. So, we're about at the 5:45 mark in the video and I unmute it and then I start talking about it. Another thing too is trying to shout out everybody in the live chat. If you've got 125 people out there, that takes a long time too.
Yeah.
But somebody can scroll past that if they're doing a live video on playback. They can get back and then get right to the substance of it. Gary says that that's an option in YouTube Studio. You can turn it on and turn it off. Yeah. I had seen it before, and I didn't. I read about it, and I said I should probably do this for some of my videos. But it's like, nah, I don't want to. I'm too lazy. But that would help. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just bitching. That's all I'm doing. I'm complaining about something that it's always going to be there. It's like trolls. It's always going to be there. But I see other channels that are successful that do certain things, and I don't see those comments on their videos. Maybe they just delete them. I don't know.
That's a possibility, man. It's hard telling. Yeah.
See, Rupan RX is out there. Yeah. Hey, Rupan. Yeah. I don't know how much longer the show's going to go on. I kind of didn't want to run past 2 hours, but if it does, who cares?
Real man wouldn't set a time limit.
Well, see, I'm a real old man, so when this caffeine wears off, I'm just going to fall asleep on you guys. So
I thought that just took large amounts of alcohol.
I decided not to drink this time around. I had quite a few yesterday, that's for sure.
You said you were going to do a little bit of a whiskey chat or something. Was that?
I said, yeah. If there was nothing left, yeah. So I mean, I've bitched about just some comment, and you know what, guys, don't take that as me going, oh, he's letting these people get to him. I'm not letting them get. I don't give a fuck. But I just, it's my show. I can bitch if I want. If there was nothing else to talk about or whatnot, a whiskey chat, just because I like whiskey. If you've seen some of my videos, it's kind of apparent. So when I was a kid, my dad would let me have a shot of whiskey if I wanted it. And I had about one a year because it took me about a whole year to forget how bad it tasted. And when I got older, my alcohol of choice was beer, wine, tequila. In my 20s, tequila was my thing. Now I don't really care for tequila. And I did not like whiskey. I just did not like whiskey. Since I started doing the gun channels thing, some of the guys, Sean Ponnery for one, kind of got me going more towards the whiskey thing. And then Santee from the Arizona Ghost Riders, he kind of got me back into it. And I started looking at the whiskey more like the way you're telling me to analyze the coffee, Travis.
Yeah.
Look for notes of this, hints of that, the smell, the taste.
That's what I did last night. And then I went to the website to look up what they said about the flavor profile. And I was like, yeah, there really was, I did notice this now that I think about it. And then I take a little bit more and I'm like, oh yeah, there are hints of this and notes of that and a little bit of this and that. But yeah, I sent you that flavor wheel, but you never looked at it because you said that would involve reading. But
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
and I mean,
well, you're a Marine. I mean, it's not your
yeah, I
fault, you
mean, if there
know.
was a coloring book
If it had like
version,
symbols, like some kind of military symbols or something, it might be
yeah,
easier to understand.
yeah.
But it's neat though because of the flavor profile of different things that you eat, you know, what you discover in it. So yeah, yeah.
And it's not for everybody. But when I do my cocktails with Squib, where I'm doing the amateur bartending, I'm having fun making up these cocktails, right? And I'm just showing people how to make these. Like, if I can do this, any asshole can do this, right? And maybe you want to do it for a company or a party or just for fun on the weekend. So let's try this, you know. But I also review different alcohols I've never had before, or maybe there's a few that I have and I'm revisiting them or something. But I'll try out a whiskey and I'll tell you what I think of it. Now, you might have the same whiskey and go, "This is awful. How can you like this?" Or you might go, "You didn't like this. This is great." It's an acquired taste, and not everybody has the same taste. But I try to do it from the standpoint of somebody who has maybe only really been into whiskeys for about 5 or 6 years now. I've had them in the past and it just didn't do anything for me. And now I really like them. And I have to say, the more you spend, usually the better you get. But that's not to say that you can't find a whiskey for under $20 a fifth. That's not bad.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, the stuff that I had mentioned that I tried was the what I say Statesman, Old Forester Statesman, which was $60 a bottle. And I don't do a lot of that. You know, and I don't usually comment on alcohol at all, but as like as a good starter type of Kentucky straight whiskey, I'm, you know, not opposed to it. I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't so strong that you're just like wincing when you drink it. Unlike like more cruder or more unrefined alcohols might do, you know.
I think if you start off with something that's really high proof, it's going to turn you off. If you start off something with like 80 proof and you work your way up, once you get more adjusted to the 80 proof, or maybe make some cocktails with it or try a couple different things, when you get that stuff that's like 94 proof or 101 proof, you start to appreciate it. But if you started off with that, you'd be like, "Oh, this is terrible." And because we've had some that are above 90 proof and they're strong. I mean, you take a shot of it and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be feeling this real soon."
Yeah.
But there's something about it that once your palate gets to that point, you start to go, "Hey, this is kind of smooth," or "Hey, you know, I know that why this is, you know, $100 a bottle or something." And it's not something you're going to drink every day unless you got lottery money. But now, barbecue, do you ever cook with whiskey, with bourbon or anything?
I've used it as a spritz on some pork butts and some briskets in the past, but other than that, not really.
Because I know you get a lot of barbecue sauces. I know Jack Daniels and Jim Beam have their own barbecue sauces. You get a lot of bourbon, you know, flavored barbecue sauces and marinades and stuff like that. You think it would add almost like a little bit of sweetness to it because of like the maple and just the sugar content of it?
Something about those, I have not liked bourbon uh, um barbecue sauce. I've tried different types, or you get the beer barrel bourbon. I don't care for that.
Bourbon, yeah,
Or
bourbon aged beer.
the
It
bourbon
has
aged
like a
beer.
whiskey kind of
Yeah.
aftertaste to it. It's smoky. I haven't quite adjusted that flavor profile. I like more of a coffee, stout, vanilla, dark chocolate, espresso. For anything dark that I have, you know, and yeah, the whole bourbon thing is not quite my take on beer. Yeah.
Something that was weird in one of the ones I tried out last year was it had banana as a flavor, and I'm searching around for it. I'm like, the first time I had it, no, and then I came back and I did a video on it months later. I'm like, there it is. I found it, you know. And it's the same thing with the coffees. Even if it's not a flavored coffee, sometimes these guys will, when they're making it, what makes our whiskey different than 100 other whiskeys out there? It's the same proof, it's the same price. You know, you can make a weird shaped bottle or do something. You know, like the one with the banana flavor. They've got the old leather for the cork. All right, that's great. But
Or the wax seal on the top of it. They dunk it
yeah,
in wax, you know. Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's a novelty. What's in the bottle? And if it's something where you're going, "Hey, I would have this again," you know, for me, that's something. But so when I do my videos, it's kind of like uh, the poor man's bartender or just the amateur hour, or hey, if you were looking to get into this maybe some things that you might. I don't profess to be an expert or anything else like that, but it's definitely an acquired taste, and it's definitely something that you can sit around and sip on a whiskey and just kind of, if I am relaxing, which is something I don't do very often, sipping on a whiskey definitely helps. That's why I would be drinking on the live streams, is because I'm sitting still. Most of the time I'm moving around. And if I know I'm going to be driving somewhere or something like that, then I'm not drinking.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah.
If I'm sitting down, there might be a bourbon or a rye in my hand. And let me go back and talk about, Raphael asks, do dumb comments on YouTube videos help with the algorithms? Yes, they do. And if somebody makes a comment on my video that's ignorant, and then I blast them back with a reply, go fuck off, it does say, do you want to, this has profanity in it, do you want to send it? Yes, post it. Yes, I do. All right. Those are 2 comments on the video. For the analytics, it shows that there were 2 comments. So
here's a little YouTube secret. You want a healthy percentage of thumbs downs on your videos and like dislikes on your videos, because YouTube, it shows YouTube that somebody was engaged enough with your video to have a strong enough opinion to dislike it. For whatever, it shows that there was an actual person that did not like what they saw. And it doesn't matter either way. YouTube's a bookie. They watch the ad at the beginning, or the ad plays during the video.
Right.
They get paid regardless whether somebody likes it or not. So when you got a thumbs down, much more powerful response for somebody to thumbs down than thumbs up. Because it's easy. It's easy to thumbs up a video. You're watching it 15 or 20 seconds. Oh, this guy's great. I'm a thumbs up it. But thumbs down's like, I'm going to think to give him a thumbs down, and I'm probably going to give a reason why. And many times you get that negative comment from people. So
if they're tuning in because they like you, or they're tuning in because they don't like you, either way they're tuning in.
Yeah. It's all about watch time in the end. It's all about the amount of hours you get. It isn't about the number of views. It's about it's the amount of watch time total that you're getting out of people per video. So that's really what it comes down to.
And then Rufan RX says, I get to the point comments too. So it's not just me, I guess.
I think you got a really short attention span with younger people, because it's instant gratification to them. They haven't had to wait for anything their entire lives. And that's not their fault. They're a product of the society we've created for them. And so they just naturally don't have a very long attention span. I mean, to a point. I mean, there might be people that they watch where they'll sit there and listen to the whole video. Somebody's telling a story. Or, you've got that unique fan of Nut and Fancy that'll watch all 45 minutes of his tabletop review. All right. So I'm just saying that, I think there's certain fans for every genre, but I think a lot of people just have a short attention span in general. So that's why you just don't get that average watch time that goes beyond 3 minutes, although you want 8 minutes to be able to get ads to play in your video. That's another YouTube secret. You want to shoot for at least an 8-minute video. Otherwise your roll time, your during video ads won't roll. They go at the beginning and the end, but you gotta have at least 8 minutes if you want to get that. Watch how many videos are 8 minutes and 1 second long. There's a reason for it. See, look at this. This is secrets of YouTube creators this evening,
So Squib, what's it like for somebody like me to comment on your videos, but they're commenting as if they're watching a live show? So like you'll get into your studio, and then there's like 17 comments for a 3-minute video.
I don't get it. What do you mean?
So like I'll be watching your video sometimes, and I'll be like, well, I'm gonna troll Squib today. So
I figured you're just messing with me. Look
100% of the time, but
yeah.
Like you end up with like 17 comments, and a couple of them might actually be legit, but most of them it's like Squib said this, and I can be a smart aleck about it in this way, so I'm going to do that.
Okay, so like if you're one of my friends on YouTube and you're trolling me, right? I don't care about that. That's us having fun, giving each other a hard time. If you're a guy that has never watched any of my, or never commented on any of my videos ever, I don't know who the fuck you are, and you say something ignorant, I'm going to blast you. On a rare occasion, somebody will come back and be like, dude, I didn't mean it like that. I was just messing with you. Oh, okay.
Or you'll call somebody out, and either one of two things are going to happen. One, they're never going to respond back because you call them out. Or two, like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I was just having a bad day. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. People literally say, hey, I'm sorry, man. Look, I was just giving you crap, dude. I didn't know. Like, they will really reply back because they're human beings, It kind of, because you'd be like, I don't know. You're like, well, hey, thanks. I appreciate after all this effort I put into this video for you that I made. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I was having a bad day when I wrote that comment. I've had that so many times.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's you just reply. If you look at me, I reply back to almost. it's not kidding. I reply back to almost every single comment I get on a YouTube video. As long as I see them, if you go look at any video I've ever made, look. And there's a lot of people that, and I don't, the only time I'll really delete a comment is if it's got something obscene in it or something something that has nothing to do with the video. A lot of that, the inappropriate website links and stuff, I think YouTube's pretty much gotten rid of those because I don't see those popping up anymore. Remember, we used to post a video and then Triple X hot blah 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 used to pop up attached to everything.
I just figured
that was a nightmare.
Planning those everywhere.
Yeah, it was terrible because you wouldn't be watching for it. Then every comment would have something attached to it. It's like, hey, looking for this? Click here. Yeah.
I got one guy that commented recently, and he goes, 5 minutes and 23 minutes of my life I can never get back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I like those ones.
And it's like I copy paste at John Smith 1234, 1 subscriber, 0 videos. Go fuck yourself. Make your own videos if you don't like it. Then he comes back. Oh, did I hit a nerve? And it'd be like, dude, I don't have to take shit from you. Okay, I'm not out there asking people, for anything for doing my videos. So I'm not beholden to you. Oh, well, I just meant that it took so long for you to get to the point. I go, asshole, you've made 3 comments on this video already. How much time did that take you? You apparently had time for that. And then they usually shut up. Let's see. What do we got here?
Yeah, look at Defense Dad's comment. That's the microphone drop comment of the night right there. And that is so true. That the thing is that just go ahead and click when you get a chance.
Okay, all right. So
pro tip, the pro tip comment that he made.
Pro tip. Yeah, let me click on it there. Okay, there we go. So pro tip: if you're looking for negative comments, review a Taurus and actually say something negative about it. Okay, so I
don't know. I guess I've never really had much.
I haven't been drinking. Let's review a Taurus. There's nothing. Here's the thing. Somebody out there is always going to find a problem with something. I did a video where I was delivering Toyota parts with my Chevy truck. And I just wanted to show the irony. And somebody got butthurt out there saying how much better Toyotas are than Chevys and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, motherfucker, you missed the point of the video. You missed the point. If Defense Dad, if you say something negative about a Taurus or everything negative, if you say everything negative, then maybe it isn't objective. Maybe it is. It just depends on the situation. But if you have like 10 points about this and 2 of them are negative, I'm going to say you're probably more objective than the guy who goes, this is the best damn gun I've ever shot before. I got this free from Bud's gun shop with
or criticize a really expensive gun, and then they usually come back with you're just a poor kind of comment. That's what they'll say to you. And I'm like, dude, I've got one in my safe. Here's the link to my video. You can go watch it right now. I'm just saying that there's better guns out there than this. My staccato, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, hold your fire, bro. Hold your fire.
I mean, I've shot more Tauruses than the ones I just own, right?
Yeah.
But for the longest time, I did not want a Taurus because it was the cheap knockoff Smith & Wesson. It was the cheap knockoff Beretta. It was cheap. Honestly, it was hanging with guys like you to say, would you just try this damn thing?
Series had its issues. It had its recalls, and you hear about older Tauruses, Tauri that were just not good. But then the G series, the PT 111 G series changed it, whatever it was. I'm not saying that those were flawless and perfect. They had their problems, but for the volume that they sold, I think, and how my family bought an obscene number of those pistols because they were so cheap. They were just like giving that a new color would come out. I go buy an FDE or OD green or black. They'd be like $175. It's like, it's pocket change. I'll just go buy a PT 111 G2. I don't even need one. Oh, there's another truck gun. Oh, there's a bedside gun. Oh, there's a bathroom gun. Oh, there's a next to the hamper gun. I mean, they were so cheap at one point. They were like $150 after $25 rebate. The PT 111 G2s.
And it goes back to the whole thing that we would talk about in some of the shows. If this gets you into it, great. And then later, if you say, I want something nicer, I want something this, I want something that, then at least it got you into it. I kind of went the other way around. I went backwards, and I think Taurus has improved in their quality and stuff like that. And I like some of the stuff that they offer that the other companies don't offer. Okay, sure, they both have a big bore revolver, but the Taurus has this on it and the other guy doesn't, or what. And there's also, all right, you want $1,600 for this revolver and Taurus wants $6,000. Now, this one is made in America. I will give it that, but they're the exact same effing revolver, except the Taurus has got the better warranty. What am I supposed to do here? I don't know. But you brought up recalls. I should have did this at the beginning of the show, but I was muted. My head was in my ass. I got an email, important safety notice. Some GX4 pistols assembled and sold only in the United States may, under certain circumstances, discharge when dropped. Safely unload and stop using your GX4 immediately. Failure to observe this warning may result in injury or death to you or others. And if you go to the Taurus website, you can enter your pistol serial number to find out if it's covered under the recall, and you can contact them by phone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So just go to the Taurus website. They've got the the GX4 safety notice there. I got an email on it right before we went live. So that is something out there to keep in mind, is if these guns have a history of recalls, that's probably not good for them, but that's their own marketing issue, right?
I don't know why the GX4, this is like the third or fourth time I've heard of problems with the GX4. Maybe it's the same problem that's just being constantly rebooted and resent out. It's the same issue over and over again. But the GX4s, and I don't know, maybe it's just a limited run that had problems and there's still stuff popping up from them because they're given, I mean, there's rebates on them. They're still selling them. They're not pulled off the shelves when I go into the stores. So, yeah. What was it?
Small caliber arms review says, I just had a guy yell at me for cleaning my 1890 from the muzzle end. He said, it's a takedown for a reason. He doesn't know if you take it apart, the bolt covers the breech end of the barrel. I mean,
I'm a breech to muzzle cleaner myself. I guess I don't like to go the opposite direction. I guess I don't know what my problem is with that. I just don't. I like to push everything out, even if it is separated into two pieces. I just push because I guess I don't want to go against the grain of the rifling. I don't think it really makes a difference with the brass brush, but I always go back to front on a gun that will let me do it. Not every gun you're capable of doing that.
Right. On every gun you can go.
It can be hard to go breech to muzzle depending on what you got, especially like little compact 22s. You can't always get a bore snake down there or a cleaning rod easily or whatever, you know.
So yeah. I learned how to clean guns on the M16. You can separate the upper from the lower, or just break it down shotgun style, pull the bolt carrier group, and you can go either direction. We always went muzzle. We always went from the muzzle to the chamber, except when you run the chamber brush
that pushed
in there,
everything to the back. That pushed all the crap out. Wouldn't you want stuff pushed out the front?
You clean the barrel. It doesn't matter whether it comes out one end or the other. It ain't like a human being. Okay, you don't want to shit out your mouth.
I know.
Okay?
I'm just saying, if I'm getting, it's just, to me, it's less cleanup because you're pushing everything out the front instead of bringing it back and having it just splatter itself inside the receiver.
It depends on what it is.
Okay,
I would say, but even then, I still know. Like with the Henry, I'd have to take the stock off of it and everything else in order to. Well, no, I could pull the bolt out of it, I guess, and go the other way. But no, I don't. I just clean out the chamber. I just wipe out the chamber with some Q-tips or a rag or patches or what have you.
I mean, I have shotguns. I even go breech to muzzle if it's a smooth bore shotgun. I guess just a habit I have, I guess. So.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Because I've heard the argument, like with lever actions, people are like, "Oh, you can't," and you can. It's just a matter of taking your cleaning rod, you shove it down, and then you already have your
bore snake it.
Well, yeah, bore snakes are amazing for lever actions and shotguns and things like that. But you take your like, say you don't have a bore snake, you take your cleaning rod, you shove it down there. You got the brush already waiting in the receiver, and then you just hold the brush and turn the rod and start it in and then pull it out. Now that's depending on how you are. To me, I'm like, that's a lot of extra work. I'm just ramming the thing down through whatever. But that's also because when I was a lot younger, I wasn't taught breech to muzzle and all that. So my entire life cleaning guns, I started off with a lever action. So I was cleaning muzzle to breech, instead of vice versa. So to me, I was like, whatever, it did just fine the other way. So what's it going to matter now?
Yeah.
If I saw somebody cleaning one way or the other, as long as they weren't struggling to get the cleaning rod through there, I wouldn't say, hey, dude, it's your gun. Do what you want. I want to address here. I want to go back to Defense Dad. He's got 2 comments. I want to see if I can highlight these. This is I'm reading everything over on the YouTube side instead of reading it in this little sidebar here on the there we go. In the StreamYard studio. So it says one type of comment that I get that makes me laugh are the ones that freak out if you flag the camera. I film by myself, morons. There's nobody there. Now, I did watch one video once where the guy was standing in front of the camera, and as he shot, the camera turned with him. The guy had to be standing behind the camera next to the muzzle blast and turning the camera different ways, or he had a remote control on it. And I made a comment. I'm like, dude, you got a guy behind the camera and the gun is pointed in his direction. Now, maybe he did have some fancy, expensive remote control camera. I don't know. But I could see somebody maybe misinterpreting that. But as far as flagging the camera, I mean,
well,
dude,
now
this isn't going to get anybody. Okay, there, I'm doing it.
I'm trying to think of what the camera is. I think it's Insta360. They're making a webcam that will pan and follow you, so it will actually be controlled via hand movements. So you can, I think, like hold your hand up and it will lock it and it will just focus on you. Or if you want it to pan and follow you where you move around your desk or anything, you can hold up another hand signal and then it will unlock and then it will just track you. I was like, that is freaking awesome.
So
but that, that's pretty new as of like this year. So I doubt the guy was using anything like that.
This was years ago when I was newer on YouTube and less experienced making videos and doing things like that. Whether the guy had one or not, he could have at least commented, "Hey, asshole, it's a remote control camera. Why don't you, get more subs and make your channel bigger, and then you can afford one too," or something. And then I would be the asshole, and he'd be absolutely right. But I got no response on that. And if you don't respond to criticism like that, people aren't going to find out that, hey, there was no one behind the camera. We actually did this or did that. That's transparency with the audience. Even if you're not happy that somebody criticized your stuff, I don't like it when they just kind of blow you off like that. I mean, at the very least, a fuck you would have been nice. But, and then here, I want to address this comment too that Defense Ed made. I actually had a comment when Travis broke my G3C that it was his fault because he supposedly teacupped it.
I've never held a gun like that in my life.
The damn mag release fell out. Okay, guys, once again, okay, teacup, it doesn't do anything. I had some asshole tell me that I'm going to get hurt because the gun is going to blow up in my hand, and it's gonna blast my hand out. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing at all wrong with this.
I'm an index forward, thumbs forward shooter always.
Yeah, see, and I don't like the thumbs forward because both
what we discovered had happened on that G3 was that the little rod that puts tension on your magazine release, that rod had snapped, or the plastic that the rod was in broke.
Yep.
So the little rod that puts tension, I think the little tension rod snapped is what it was. And that's the first time I've ever experienced any issue with any G3 series gun ever. I've never had a problem with other than shooting low and to left because it got such a freaking long trigger pull and it's hard to get around the physics or the physiology of how the human finger bends. You can't.
But Taurus took care of it.
Yeah, they took care of it. They sent him a brand new gun.
I think that's the most important
thing. I felt
so
bad about it. I actually bought that off him because, I wanted a G3 anyway, a G3C anyway. So he's like, "Well, you should buy this one. You broke it," and I ended up buying it from him anyway. So
I've had these people. I call them new shooters. I don't care if they've been shooting for 5 years or 10 years. Some of them I've been shooting longer than they've been alive, and teacupping is wrong. Okay, it's just different. Actually, I prefer one-handed shooting, to tell you the truth.
Oh, you do? Yeah.
One-handed shooting is my
Jeff
thing.
Cooper 1911. Yeah.
I can one-hand a 44 Magnum all day long. I love it. Okay, it doesn't mean it's wrong. But I went to a class, and a guy with a tight T-shirt told me that when I had this guy, we're on the range. He's trying to embarrass me in front of my wife. He's going, "Yeah, that gun's going to blow up in his hand, and when he's teacupping, it's going to cause an injury, and it's going to mess up his." And I'm going, first off, why would I be handling a gun that I think is going to blow up? Okay. And there are all these experts out there. And it's like, dude, I never said I'm an expert. I have training, I have experience, and I'm always willing to learn. But when somebody wants to tell me my old style of holding a gun is wrong, oh, you just lost me right then and there. And it's on. I'm ready to fight. Let's go. I don't care.
Your old style of holding a gun is wrong.
Fuck off. But it ain't going to break the gun. It isn't going to break the gun. It isn't going to cause you to get hurt. Hell, putting both my thumbs next to the slide is going to. I'm not doing that.
My
dude.
favorite
I'm not
comments I
doing
get
that.
is I'll test a gun and I'll do like a 10-yard or a 15-yard range test, and I'll do like an 1.25 inch group with 3 to 5 rounds, and people are like, "Man, you're aiming, your accuracy's trash," and I'm not even in a bench rest, man, and I'm shooting good groups with this thing, and I'll get those comments. I'm like, have you gone? I was like, okay. And what I want to tell them is, okay, now you go get your camera, you go stand out in the middle of a blizzard, and you go shoot better. Okay. It's hilarious. I'm like, hey, and I just do it just as a way to report on the ergonomics to see if the gun's going to function, to show you what the average just Joe is going to get out of the box with it, So I really should get a bench rest for pistol tests and stuff like that. I know this is like 5 years after I've said it, but
there's been a few times, more so in previous years, where I've made some comments that I thought about later and I've regretted. But for the most part, 99% of the comments I don't regret. But there are people out there, go to their fucking channel and they got nothing. If you've got some videos on your channel, I can go through and look for your video.
Well, if you're an instructor or a trainer and you've got legit experience and I'm doing something wrong, I mean, I might be willing to listen to what you have to say. Maybe it's like, hey, no.
No, right. Anybody, look, those who can't do teach. Oh, sorry, Travis.
Remember that the next time you need an interpreter and you need to get bailed out of jail in Acapulco. On
that's true. That's
that
true.
Hawaiian shooting ain't going to work with a bail bondsman.
I'll be walking around going, hey, pendecos. Yeah.
You didn't even pronounce that right.
No,
that will get you arrested.
That will get me. Mm-hmm. So, no, the thing is, there are good instructors out there. But anybody can be an instructor. You can literally. There's not like you go to a school and you get for years and years, and then you have to pass through this and it's government regulated. Anybody can be an instructor.
Yeah, but the NRA and pistol course and firearms basic instructor course they're thorough classes. I think it was 2 or 3 days of 16 to 24 hours of class time. So
I can put a sign in my front yard that says concealed pistol license class is $99.
Yeah.
And all I have to do is have an LLC and I'm set. That's it.
Here in Nebraska, you have to pass the course. You also have to be on file with the state patrol as being a registered firearms instructor, if I'm not mistaken, in order to run it as a business.
Now, having that NRA certificate on the wall in the back of the classroom looks good. You know how easy it is to fake one of those? And even if
you can. I get that. Yeah.
How many people have driver's licenses? How many people pass the driver's training test and pass the eye exam test, but they're shitty drivers? Yeah. I'm not saying all instructors are bad, but I've ran into so many piss poor instructors out there that didn't know shit.
Yeah.
And the people who come to them know even less. So they believe everything like it's the gospel.
Yeah.
So I'm immediately on the defense when I meet somebody who goes, I'm an instructor. Maybe they are good instructors. Maybe they are, because there are some good ones out there. Unfortunately, the bad ones out there make them.
Well, see, I don't mind people that say I'm an instructor. It's the ones that say I'm a trainer. The ones that say I'm a trainer are the ones where I'm like, where I get standoffish, because
what's the difference between instructor and trainer?
I think there's a very big difference.
Because you,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, is it because when I think of trainers, like you're training other people to be instructors? Is that what we're?
Well, when I think of a trainer, I think of like Masad Ayub or something like that. Which, in a sense, if you wanted to be a trainer, you would seek out some really high level training. But to me, an instructor is just like you're teaching the very basics. But when to me, with
I get
the
that.
training, the training, it's next level stuff. It's not just here's your gun, here's how you're going to take it apart, field strip it. This is basic cleaning. Here's how we shoot. Have a great day. So many people are like, oh, I'm taking training, and then that's the training, and there's people that are, I'm a trainer, but that's the most training they've ever had, and that's what they're saying their training is, which I guess if you want to use that label, but to me, I'm like that. I mean, I was taught all that stuff by my grandfather and parents. They're not firearms trainers, and it muddies the water. So I guess my thing is when I find somebody that says, "Oh, I'm an instructor," I just immediately find them to be more humble. If I'm not sure if that's what I'm looking for, I feel like it's a better description though. Like, they're not looking to be like the next Masad Ayub or anything. They're like, hey, this is what I do. So yeah, I'm rambling here. Sorry.
No.
There's nothing wrong with learning from
Makes sense.
family members. I would say, if anything, I'm more of a mentor. I'm not an instructor or a trainer or whatever in firearms, although I can teach people the things that I've learned professionally or share with them my experience. But I'm not going to go out there and profess to be this thing. But it wouldn't be anything for me to take a sucker's money. And that's what a lot of them do, because at the end of the day, it's a business. They've got to make money. They've got to feed their family. So what is it going to take to get seats in the classroom? What's it going to take to get you to give me the money and come back for my advanced class and everything else like that? Some of them, like Masad Ayub and some of the other big names out there, they're a brand. I'm not saying the man doesn't know anything or he doesn't have a lot of experience or he's not a professional at all, but he's a brand at this point. Well, he's been a brand for a long time. And a lot of them, they're brands. Their name precedes them. Like when you go to the class, you pay $5,000 to go to this class, and the guy whose name's on the academy isn't even there on the property. You're getting all of his trainers. And I'm going, whoa. You paid $5,000. You didn't even meet the guy? Well, no, but
Yeah.
or when you see some of these trainers say shit like safety's for pussies, all right, give me my money back. Or when they say some of the other stuff. So I told a story on Gary's chat yesterday about going over to the sportsman club over here that I don't want to join because they're a bunch of douchebags. And I got an indoor archery range. And I ain't done archery since I was a little kid. And I got this recurve bow and I've got a target arrow, right? And I knock the arrow and I draw back and I go to let go to hit the target. And the guy stops me and he goes, "You're holding it all wrong." So he's moving me around and I'm all like this, right? And and don't get me wrong, when you guys see me shoot offhand, this is the way I learned how to do it in the Marine Corps. And some people are going, "How the hell can you hold it like that?" Well, holding a bow like that, right? So I'm doing all this weird shit, right? And it's off, and right? And he goes, "Nope, try it again." Again and again, right? It doesn't. So then he turns around to talk to somebody, and I pull it back the way I did, right in the bullseye. And he turns around and goes, "See, told you you'd get it." I'm thinking, fuck you, old man. Now, I'm sure the way he showed me is the right way. It's the way that we're taught. It's the way our academy teaches. It's the way it's in this book. It's the way you're going to see a YouTube video where somebody's going to show you how to hold a bow. I'm not saying that I'm William Tell, but I learned as a kid how to shoot a recurve, and it wasn't like that, and I don't have any problems with it. It doesn't mean every time I'm going to hit the bullseye. It doesn't mean that my accuracy is so great that I'm going to bag a deer with it or whatever it is like that. But I'm saying I do just fine. I don't need this old man to tell me I'm doing it wrong. Go fuck yourself. When I go to somebody and go, "Look, I don't know shit about this. Will you train me?" Then I'm at their mercy. I'm hoping that they're going to teach me something that's true, that's safe, and that's efficient. If I'm having trouble and they go, "Would you like to try something different?" That's going to reach me a lot better than, "You're holding the gun wrong." Really? Let's see you do it. Most of them can't. So I just have trouble. I think the instructor, even if you had a free instructor, you still can't necessarily trust what they're going to say. Grandma and grandpa might have a lot of guns and they might show you a whole bunch of stuff, but there's going to be some things that they tell you that isn't true, like shoot them in the yard and drag them back in the house. That ain't true,
I don't know, man. I'd be surprised what my grandparents said.
But I still think, though, that a father passing down to a son or a grandpa passing down to a grandson has its place. I think that a family that goes out shooting together and is interested in this stuff, and my whole family comes to me. They go, "You've got the training, you've got the experience," and they come to me. And if they ask me a question I don't have an answer for, I'll go find it. But taking my wife to the range and having a bunch of guys try to show off in front of her and make me look like an idiot. I took the one guy's gun and just blasted away with it. He goes, "Oh, you've done this before." I'm like, "Yeah." Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to put somebody in their place. But it also doesn't mean that I think I know everything. I don't. But I guess I've had to deal with so many people that are so full of shit that, I immediately just don't trust.
That makes sense. In the comments out there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. See, I'm reading it over on the YouTube side instead of reading it over in here. So
Rupan's got a good one. He's got a good point. I know at our range that I belong to, there's certain targets you're not allowed to have human silhouette targets at ours. Even though I just like them because they're like the perfect size. So I just fold them over so that the head's not there.
And that's what they told us to do at our range too. And those targets actually work out better because if I'm like trying to adjust a scope or whatever, I can make the adjustments and watch it move towards the center because it's a bigger target. But Rupan says the 600-yard range instructor at my club screamed at my buddy and I that we don't shoot people here. He wanted us to use a stupid high power targets. I don't need a target the size of a Jeep. See, the reason they do it at my range is because it's a state range. Somebody go, oh, the government, they're coming to get you. No. It's the guys that work there think it's a stupid rule, but they have to do it because if they do have somebody from Lansing show up and they're breaking these rules, they'll shut the fucking range down and we all lose a place to shoot. So people fold them over or they go home with their butt in a sling. But I don't like that. I shouldn't say. If it's not a rule at the range, but it's that instructor's rule, if he's the range safety officer and the rule is whatever they say goes, then that's the rule. You're stuck with it. If that's not the rule and the range safety, I don't care, I'm in charge. All right, I got an issue with that shit. You know, what am I paying fees for if you're just going to make up the rules as you go along? We have guys at our range that like to do mag dumps. They won't allow that at our range. Before somebody loses their shit, it's because of the noise.
Yeah.
And I understand, right? There's a range 90 minutes away, an outdoor range where you can shoot machine guns. You're going to be waiting in line because if you get there at 8 a.m. when they're open, the Jeeps and pickup trucks are lined up down the street waiting to get in there. And you might be sitting there all day waiting for an open spot, but there are people out there shooting full autos. Okay. It's a nice range. I've gone out there to help them clean it up actually, but I'm not waiting. I'm not driving 90 minutes and waiting all day. So I just slow fire. But I've watched people stomp off the range because they're like, well, what do you mean I can't mag dump? Dude, you're not at the right place for that. And some of these indoor ranges, they have certain rules about what kind of ammo you use. Or if the brass hits the ground, it's not yours. Where I'm at, you take all the brass home you want.
I can't shoot steel case because of the steel.
Yeah.
The bimetal bullet or whatever. It's not, if it's magnetic, they don't let you shoot it because it's going to ruin their traps at the rear, you know. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have to pick the range.
Yeah.
You have to pick the range that works for you. How far are you willing to drive? How much are you willing to pay? When are they open? What are the rules? If you own your own property, you can go shoot on that. Maybe it depends. What are the ordinances? You know, are you out in the country? Are you in the city? And then you can go shoot on public land. Sure. I can shoot on public land here. Let me tell you, finding a spot where you know it's public land, up north where my in-laws used to live, I have a map of the county that shows all the DNR land. It looks like a checkerboard. You would need a compass and a GPS to figure out if you're standing on this square that's DNR land. And you got to build a 6-foot berm. You have to have a base hunting license, and you have to wear orange while you're shooting. And somebody might go, well, I ain't going to do that. Well, you know, I almost bought 10 acres of my own so I could just shoot on it. And I ended up backing out of it. But you got to find what works for you. But what sucks is when you're at the range and either somebody who doesn't want to follow the rules ruins it for everybody, or somebody who we had a range safety officer that was a total asshole. Nobody liked him. And when they fired him, everybody was happy. He came back as a customer and he started bossing people around, and the RSOs escorted him off the premises, and he never came back.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, he was a total dick. So they're going to be out there. The fun governors are going to be out there, and the people who don't want to stop and go, why? Yeah. Why can't I do? Well, the rule is this, this, and this because of that, that, and that. Oh. So I think that some people are going to say they've got the perfect solution for where to shoot, but unless you own your own property in the country, nobody's got the perfect solution.
Yeah.
See, Outcast is out there saying I'm not interested in a babysitter. They're not babysitters at our range, Outcast. But if you're going to act up, you know, you're going to be asked up to 3 times before they tell you got to leave.
And also, I thought of an analogy for instructor versus trainer. Like to me, instructor would be like a tutor, and trainer would be like a teacher. And as far as RSOs go, aside from any trainings that I've taken, I've never been on a range with an RSO.
So our RSOs are state employees. They work for the Department of Natural Resources. It doesn't pay a lot. I've looked into it because the job's been posted before, and I'm like, these guys must really love what they do. And most of them at our range are really good. They don't give it hunting advice. They don't give legal advice. They're not the part of the DNR that goes and looks for somebody poaching. They're the part of the DNR that maintains the gun range at the state park. And they don't write tickets. They don't this, that. They actually have to call law enforcement if there was an issue. The only way they can carry a sidearm on their job is if they wear body armor, and none of them want to wear body armor. So, and that's a rule that the state makes.
I would. That look awesome.
yeah, dude. Body armor sucks. All right, wear that shit around.
Can they conceal? Are they allowed to conceal without body armor?
They can open or conceal carry.
Yeah.
But not when they're on the clock. Not when they're on the clock. So they would open carry if they had body armor. But I'm telling you what, show up to work at 8 a.m. and leave at 5 p.m, and don't take off that armor all day long.
I know. I would just have like some polymer or some ceramic level 4 stuff. You know, it'd be expensive, but it weighs like 2 pounds. That's what I would rock. If I did it as a profession, I would have the lightest like poly.
You're gonna want at least
body
level
armor.
3A, man. You're gonna
Well, yeah, but that stuff is. If you look at it, it's like the newest, most bestest. Remember, we had our body armor chat where we looked it up, and it's super light. It's like it's like not even 5 pounds of plate.
These guys make less than half what I make. I don't know they can afford it. I know one of the RSOs owns his own business as an instructor, but he doesn't go around handing out his business card either. And these guys will stop. If you have a question, they'll help you. If your gun's jammed, they'll help you. I've seen them help some people, just give them some pointers. They don't mind other people helping out. I've helped out people that look lost, but I don't come in there like I'm Mr. Know-It-All or anything else like that. I remember the one time the guy brought his daughters, and they did not want to hold that AR-15. And he's trying to show them, and you can tell this guy knows nothing. Like he just bought this thing, and he doesn't know which end the bullet comes out of. Right. And I said, excuse me, I don't mean to intrude or whatever. I said, but would you like some pointers, maybe some helpful, tips on this? And he said, sure. So I gave a quick class on it. I showed how it worked and all this other stuff. And then I showed him how I held it and why I held it that way. So then I took a couple shots with it, make sure it cycled. And then I gave it to the older daughter. And I said, all right, now do like this. And I, was explaining controlling her breathing, all this other stuff. And she shot and she turned around with that look. You guys know that look, that smile, wow, this is so cool, right?
Cool,
The younger daughter who absolutely had nothing to do with guns saw her older sister with that look. And she goes, I want to do it. I want to do it. So we get the little wooden stand for her to stand on. And I'm teaching these kids how to shoot offhand, which instructors don't like that. You got to put it in a bench vise. No, I'm an offhand guy. They called me
just as long as they can physically hold the firearm up and safely, that's the key,
Yeah, and AR-15 light is not an issue, but these weren't little kids that couldn't do it, but they also weren't like 19 years old either.
Yeah.
But when I was taking my training in boot camp, the primary marksmanship instructor said, "You're a freak of nature. You shoot better offhand than prone. What's your problem?" I'm like, I don't know, but I'm not saying I'm just this expert or anything. Once again, I just went over some very basic stuff I learned in the military, because we had guys that had never shot a gun in their life out there. And then we had guys that had bad habits from hunting with grandpa or whatever. And I just went over TV. And I was able to reach these kids in a way Dad wasn't, because Dad was clueless. Dad was paying attention the whole time, just soaking it in and, just all this. And it was just one technique. There's so many other ways to do it. Now, I didn't say, you guys should go get some training or do whatever. I just got them going, and then I went about my way. I don't see a problem with that. But if somebody goes, "Hey, pal, mind your own business," hey, dude, I'm minding my own business.
Oh, yeah. I was like, no problem, dude. It's all right. Just, hey, I mean, sometimes if, people if they see somebody out there that looks like they know what they're doing and they've got all the gear and equipment and stuff, and you're like, maybe I should ask this person for some help, and they just do. But, yeah. It's always kind of a good feeling though when you're able to do something like that.
Well, I think the thing is that there's always an opportunity to learn, but if all right, you're a teacher. You know, you've got that student that you have to find a way to reach them.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were my Spanish teacher trying to teach me Spanish and you're doing certain things that get my attention, I'm going to pay attention. Now, getting me to do my homework would be hard to do, but our Spanish teacher, he would tell jokes.
Yeah.
One time he rolled the TV in on the AV cart, and we had Univision, and
Oh,
the
yeah?
guy says,
Watch the soap opera.
yeah, well, we watched, but there was an action movie or whatever, and a guy yells, "Vas a Inferno."
Go to
He
hell.
goes like this, right? And he goes, "That means go to hell." The whole class was paying attention to the rest of the movie. What else is he going to say? Is he going to teach us
Oh
their swear
God!
words?
See, there you go. Well,
Right,
you know, little
right.
things like that, or just chat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what really works is just chat. Hey, you played great in the game last night, or it was cool watching your band performance, or you know, hey, what's it? How's cheer and dance going for you? You know, just little things like that. It shows them that you genuinely care. You know, and because you care for their well being and stuff like that, and it shows them that you know it's not just you're human beings here just talking to each other. You know,
But
so there, you know, it
that,
depends on your teaching style and how you run
yeah,
it. I mean,
but
I don't
that
sit there and
or
lecture the whole time. A lot of what I do is the kids working together, me working with the kids.
okay. So
Online,
what if you
yeah.
had like classroom, and then we're going to do lab, then we're going to go back to classroom and lab, something to keep them instead
Oh
of
yeah,
just they
yeah.
fall asleep. But whatever it is, whether you say something funny or you say something off color or you engage them on something that isn't related to the subject to relate to them,
Oh
or
yeah,
you mix it up a little bit, or you challenge them, or you turn the class clown into the class leader, or whatever it is.
yeah,
As an
yeah.
instructor, that's your way to reach your students, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
your yeah. And you can do the same thing with firearms.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, I see. Justin, Nebraska Shooters, does an amazing job at that. The way that he relates to you, you know, a lot of combination of like personal stories and chatting about his experiences and the ability to answer any question that you have. I mean, he really is a really, really good instructor and trainer just because he, you know, the way he keeps your attention and keeps you engaged and stuff and talks to you and asks questions. And, you know, yeah, there's a certain kind of style I think that works well. Definitely, man.
Yeah, so I think it comes back to the comments and the fact that some people think that just because we're on YouTube that we're experts, or some people think that because we're on YouTube
Oh,
that
absolutely.
we're
Absolutely. I'm a
professional.
tier one SEAL trainer.
And it's not
Of course.
true.
I'm
It's not
I'm
true.
a tier 5 operator, you know. Yep. Tactical Muffin Top was my unit. TMT is what we used to call ourselves.
Nice.
Tactical Muffin Top. It's for the part of the dad bod platoon. That's Ghost used to, you know, Ghost Tactical used to deploy with us all the time to Subway. So yeah. Cold cut combos were 99 cents after 9 o'clock back in the day. So that was the operation we usually had to carry out. It was pretty intense. So a lot of not a lot of gunfire, really no real combat action, but we were there.
Dude, I can see. Okay, if we had the lighting just right,
Operation
right?
Sink the Sub, you know, yeah.
If you were just all alone, right? And we
Yeah.
had the lighting just right, and we had some music going in the background, some like really heavy music,
you know,
right?
yeah.
And you're there just talking about, dude, it was so intense.
We were there. We'd go to Subway after 9 o'clock, and you know, you had to really be very specific when you gave instructions on how you wanted that sandwich. You know,
And then
you
at the end,
didn't,
you just
just one mishap,
stare.
the entire operation would just fall off the hinges, and that's how it was. To this day, I still feel that anxiety. That you know, like the Sean Ryan show. You know, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. This has gone longer than I planned. Appreciate people being out in the audience, and you know, hopefully somebody got more out of this than just a live bitch session for me. I think we covered a few things.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good chat, man.
Definitely audience engagement, even though I sucked at keeping up with the comments. But
oh no, you're terrible, dude. My God,
I am.
Got the attention span of a no, I'm just messing with you. You did a pretty good job. I did text you several times saying, bro, give me a link. I'm on my way. I'm sitting there trying to slam my runs.
Okay, so
slam my runs so I can get in before the show ends because I figured you're gonna end it after 10 minutes.
Okay.
Like, yo, dude, shoot me a link, bro, shoot me a link. And then I put it on the right side. And then then I went and used the restroom and took the dog for a walk. And you finally got to my comment that said, oh, hey, Travis is out there. No, I'm just messing with you.
My phone is on Do Not Disturb because I'm.
See, once you're monetized, I can give you a super chat. And that'll get your priority.
No,
that'll get your priority.
No.
You just wait. You get some of that sweet AdSense revenue, and you think to yourself, you know, I feel like I should be compensated for what I do. And then boom, that's the spiral. And then you start getting the OLED offers, and then champagne just starts spraying out of the heavens, and Bear Creek
I don't even think.
Arsenal's calling you up, and you start getting all these really ill grammar scripted emails from people in China that want you to test their optics and stuff. And what's that, barbecue?
I was gonna say I don't even think it would take Olight offers. I was gonna say I think it would just take like the Fiachi stuff.
The Fiachi stuff is fine. It's good.
I'm not bagging on it. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, that's
the
a good starter. And I hate to say
those are really
it,
expensive.
the cheaper the gear you test on YouTube, I'm just going to say it right now. If, by and large, and the cheaper the firearms you test, the more views you're going to get in general. Unless you're doing something where you're like blowing up washing machines with some girl in a bikini shooting the gun at 500 yards or something, that's going to get more views, obviously. But like go make a Taurus G3 video or put like a $40 scope video out there, and then people just go nuts.
Just make sure at the end that you say that the Taurus sucks.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Or I should do a video. PSA. I should do a video. Defense Dad says this Taurus sucks. I'm going to show you that it doesn't.
My VR response to squib load. There you go. No. But I will say this, I am a little disappointed from Taurus, though. I will just get that out right now because I did send that Toro kit in, and it's been probably a month now, and I never received a response that they got it. I never received a reply that they did anything to it at all. I mean, I know they received it because I checked the FedEx tracking. Somebody in Bainbridge, Georgia accepted the package I sent that has my Toro slide in it because that screw stripped when I was trying to loosen it because they put like a handful of Loctite on the friggin' threads. And it bent the tool that they gave me, and it stripped the screw the first time I tried to loosen it. So I wanted to make a video on it a month ago, and I still haven't got it. I called them today and waited a half hour, didn't get through to customer service. It was like 8:15 this morning, but it's the day after Christmas. You'd expect that. So I'm going to keep trying. I was hoping and who knows, maybe it'll show up at some point, but I want to get that Toro conversion on because I ordered an optic that also got delayed 3 weeks. So I've got an optic to show off too. So it's been kind of frustrating because I want to get some content out there, but I just haven't got the stuff that I want. So then poor Defense Dad loaned me a shotgun to make a cleaning video like 2 months ago, and I haven't had a chance to get to it yet. Maybe 3 months. I don't even remember. So got to get that going. Oh, Outcast has a question for you.
What?
Check out his most recent comment.
Sounds lame.
Let's see here. What we got here? Has anybody heard from Rick lately? No.
Is he married? No. Did he go get married or something? Last time I heard he was
probably.
Did he? Oh, he didn't invite us? Really? Oh,
Rick never gave me his phone number. Guys, if I ever ask for your phone number, it's not so I can tell the world or whatever. I don't tell anybody on these shows or even in, when we're off air or whatever, somebody's number, their address, their real name. If we all know each other, then it's fine. Off air, it's Joe and Bill and whoever or whatever, but I don't share any of that. That is a big no. If somebody did that, they would be.
We might mention the city we live in, but good luck. I mean, if you really want to find somebody, you can. If you really want to come knock on my door and hang out, just give me a heads up. You're going to be showing up, and we'll go get some Chinese food or something. But But
Rick never gave me his number.
Wait, he moved? He moved.
The problem is you didn't say no homo.
Yeah, he moved. Well, no, I don't think he's left Indiana.
Oh, don't you have his number from before?
No, he didn't give me his number.
How did you get on his podcast? And he would just send you links.
He just emailed me a link. I always had
you have an email address to check in and say, "Hey, bro, just checking to see if you're alive. They were asking about you last night."
I still send texts to Food Travis, and he doesn't respond. So some people just want to be left alone. And that's fine. I also respect privacy. If I send you an email or a text or something like that, you don't respond. Hey, that's the way it is. I ain't trying to, knock on your door or whatever, but hey, man, just want to check in. So I could email Rick, but I don't know, he could, it'd be very easy for him to do a 30-second, hey, I'm still alive, but just busy, guys, or something.
But I mean, you guys are my friends. Even if I married somebody and ran off, I'm still going to call you guys and text you once in a while and email you, even if I don't have a YouTube presence anymore, I still chat with you guys.
Well,
there is no reason to just cut somebody off. I mean, but maybe you never talked outside of the podcast, which is fine. I mean, it depends on what your operational relationship was,
at different points. But I mean, I don't know. I've met Rick in person, and just there's a bunch of people that I've met over the years, and sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes a while to get together. But I just, for the record, I don't share that with anybody. And sometimes I've been in off-air stuff and somebody's talking about somebody and somebody else. And Sometimes I just stay out of it. Other times that happened to you too. But yeah, otherwise, so some people they want to be left alone. They want to be left alone. He might come back, he might not. But Outcast, you probably have a way to contact him better than I do. So I don't know anything about it. If anybody out there in the audience knows, so be it, or put it in the comment section, I guess.
Rupon said he saw Rick and Pondery's chat last week. Sean.
Well, there you go. See, he's alive and well.
He's
there
still
you
out
go.
there. Good. Make sure the guy, because it'd be bad to discover that he's not with us anymore and we didn't know. It's like,
well, I mean, that's happened with a few people.
Yeah.
You know, so
this is life, man. This is what happens in life. So
Mr. Holster and Ed USAF, you know, and so, but things, and then just as far as doing any more live shows, this was impromptu. I gave it a shot, and I said, okay, one, I need more practice at it, but two, I don't want to commit to a live show unless I'm able to say every week at this day and this time I will do a show, unless there's something else. It's way too easy to drop out of it and not stay with it. And my schedule sucks, guys. I'm busy every day. Today I stayed home and just did stuff around the house, so I was able to make some time for this, but it has nothing to do with how few people watch or anything else like that. It really just comes down to if I'm going to do it, I'd like to do a better job than what I half-ass out there. So
this wasn't exactly impromptu. You put a community post out this morning or this afternoon, right?
Right, but I mean, I could have put one out a week ago. You know what I mean? So I think
you don't know if you're going to have that free evening or you're not going to have stuff going on with the family. And it's like, hey, I mean, I'm here now because I came back from where I was before because the weather got so bad. I didn't want to drive back in even worse blizzard conditions than I already did this evening. So that's why I was able to make this, because this wasn't my plan for the evening. I texted you and said, look, dude, I got this going on. So I said, I don't know if I'm going to make it, but this is just how things happen. And I'll be honest with you guys. I've been so busy the last 4 Saturdays, more than that I don't know if I would have been able to have episodes of Caliber Corner. I had a grandma that broke her hip, and I've been out of town helping the family with that, So, and then I've done some hikes and stuff, and it's just life happens.
It makes it hard to commit.
Yeah. But I mean, if I was retired, didn't have anything going on, then I'd be doing stuff more frequently, I guess. It's just it's tough.
So I got a question for you, P11. Like, all that word salad that Squib just gave us, it kind of sounded like an apology, didn't it? Just with a lot more work.
He doesn't apologize. He doesn't apologize that often, but when he does, it comes from the heart. So
I know that sounded like it came from the heart.
It wasn't an apology. It was just the rationale why he doesn't consistently do a live show. So
this could have been so much fun to get him going.
It's called transparency barbecue.
There you go. Yep.
People will think what they want to think if you don't explain yourself. But some people go, why should I have to explain myself? You don't have to explain every little thing. But that's why I do the speaking squibbish. You start listening to those, watching, and go, okay, this is why he's such an asshole. All right. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to go, oh, yeah, I like that sort of, whatever. No, but okay, he's twisted or he's messed up, or, oh, okay, somebody hurt him. I don't know, whatever. But that's why, like what Defense said has to say, he used to think I'm an asshole. Yeah, I mean, I am, but that's why we get along. So,
and that's what matters in the end, kids. That's how we all get along.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Thanks everybody for being out there in the live chat and for tuning in for this. If anybody watches on replay, it went longer than what I planned, but I had a pretty good time. The caffeine definitely helped. I didn't fall asleep on my keyboard. So,
what was your beverage of choice for this evening? Did you brew up a coffee or what?
No, I ate half a block of fudge and then I downed a couple Pepsis.
That'll do it to you. That'll pretty much do it to you. So,
I figured out where your energy comes from. You eat a lot of chocolate.
So, me, not that often. I do 1 or 2 little bricks a night. So I got some Rocher 56% dark chocolate, dark cocoa. This was in my stocking for Christmas. Dark hazelnut. So I didn't know there were light hazelnuts, but yeah. So
So barbecue, do you want to, I'm supposed to do it like this. I should pay attention. Barbecue, is there anything you want to plug or anything going on your channel? Or, I mean, you don't do live shows anymore, or what do you got?
Yeah. As far as my channel goes, I've got nothing. Remember, cash is king. Credit cards suck. Eat Salads, Squib Loves Tofu. His channels for everybody. Buy used cars, not new, because I'm just trying to remember everything New York Outcast would say. I feel like I got most of this stuff here, so that sounds good.
It's not new.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to send you a check in the mail because he doesn't, you know.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be an IOU, not a check.
All right, Travis, you got anything?
Yeah, check out my channel, Travis P11. It's been about 2 weeks since I put out a video, but again, I've just been busy and I've been waiting for stuff to show up. And I got some cool gifts for Christmas I'll be showing off on my primary channel, Travis P11, and then also Coffee, Computers, and More, my second channel. Live Love Nebraska is going to be firing back up again in January. Other than that, just be watching for Thunder on the Prairie 2024 information. There is sleeping on site at the range where we're going to be hosting the event. Meals are basically provided. I mean, we didn't ask for anything before for it. We do have some sponsors on board like we did before, which is a good thing. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's just a big gathering of people to have 2 fun range days, and people can film if they want to film in a secure environment. Have an opportunity. Yeah.
If you want to come out there to meet me and you want to fist fight, we right behind the
Justin's probably got a corner where you guys can duke it out safely.
Yeah.
And
so anybody wants to, so think about that.
Where did the whole fist fight thing even come from? What started that idea tonight? What was it that you mentioned? Coming from somewhere? Being from
So I was talking. We're never gonna get this show over. But I was talking.
But I got to hear because that's when I came in on it. Was you're talking about getting a fight with somebody, and I thought maybe, yeah.
Barbecue made a comment about me taking my family back to the hood because I took them back to North Carolina where I grew up. Well, it's not the only place I live, but that's home. North Carolina is home. So they got to see where I lived, and some of the stories I tell now make sense because they can put up the name of the face or whatever. So when he said go to the hood, he might have, he was jokingly referring to North Carolina. I actually did go to the hood. I used to get bused to the hood for school, and that's where I learned how to fist fight. And that was down in Albany, Georgia. So one year, one of the trips to Florida, on the way back, I pulled 3 hours off the expressway to take them to where I learned how to fight. They were absolutely terrified. So, yeah. So
I mean, everything I ever need to know about fighting, I got from WWF. So
yeah. So, or you can tune into Rich White's chat and get all that. So, but yeah, that's the thing. One thing leads to another, and I'm trying to explain everything. And if somebody just pays attention long enough, they're like going, "Oh, okay, that's why he's so messed up." So,
gotcha. Man.
I don't like.
No, that's all I have. Otherwise, so just peace out. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel, and yeah. Let's get Squib to 1,000 so we can have a taste of that sweet AdSense revenue.
No, Kingpin's already tried that horse shit.
Squibload LLC.
No, but I do kind of like Squigdom PI. They're kind of
Squibdom PI.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice company name to have an LLC to write off all your YouTube expenses.
Get a Ferrari
and
I'm not really gonna plug my stuff. So
you already got the shirt. All you need is the Ferrari now. You've already got the chick. You just need the Ferrari now.
I'm good. We did see those helicopters, those used 500s with the stripe paint. One of them buzzed Ford Island out there. So
nice.
Yeah, maybe at some point I'll pay a lot of money to do something I used to do for free. I've got stuff coming out on all my channels. Some of it I've been trying to go back into older files that are 1, 2, 3 years old and try to find stuff and finally finish editing it. So if you do watch a video where I'm walking through something and you're like, hey, I was there last week and that ain't there no more, okay, just put it in the comment section. But otherwise, I'm going to try to.
Well, so if you say this is the price as of 2019, then we know that it's an old video.
Yeah, it's an old video. So
yeah.
I'm filming and editing and trying to get stuff done. But I do appreciate those who watch. I do appreciate the interaction. It's not necessary, but if you troll me, I'll tell you to fuck off. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Adios, Felicio.